Qin Nianmei felt certain her perception was right. This pill master Yi had the instant of extreme excitement. It meant he cared about where the stone stool went. So, she used that as her breakthrough point to let her have the upper hand in this deal. What she didn't expect was that she was about to leave the guest room, but Yimo still had no intentions to keep her. Was her guess wrong? Yimo's character and pill concoction skills were perfect for her need. She really wouldn't be able to find someone to replace Yimo quickly. Thinking about this, she stopped and looked back at Yimo. Only my father and a few people knows who really bought the stone stool. If you don't want this news, I'm going. Goodbye, Yimo said without hesitation. He knew that she had really began to doubt him. If he still cared about that stone stool, he would be an idiot. He didn't dare to ask about it anymore. Only when his power was strong to a certain would he dare to find out about this. Qin Yanmei dazed. She didn't expect Yimo to really not care. She just realized that she misjudged. That was true, this pill master Yi was only golden immortal primary stage. The stone stool had nothing to do with him. Even if he concocted pills for countless years, he wouldn't be able to get 1 billion immortal crystals. She lost the upper hand again. Qin Yanmei said with a pleading tone, "Pill Master Yi, is there nothing here that you want? Please help me this time. I'll compensate you." Hearing this, Yimo pretended to think for a long time while rejoicing on the inside. One had to stay calm. This Qin Yanmei wanted him to act as her Dao partner. That meant he must go with her. If he went with her, then he would know who she was. It would be even better if he could know where the stone stool went on the way there. If not, he would know where she lived. When his power was strong enough, he would come ask. Qin Yanmei didn't dare to talk, seeing Yimo was contemplating. After a while, Yimo sighed, "I'm just like this. I don't take threats, but if people soften up, I succumb. I'm too nice. Never mind. If possible, I'll help you. Tell me how I can help you and I'll think about it." Qin Yanmei rejoiced and quickly got back to her seat. Her tone eased up a lot. "Pill Master Yi, I came from Gonghua Heaven Great Eternity Immortal Sect Extreme Sword Sect." Great Eternity Immortal Sect? There's Great Eternity Immortal in your sect? Even Lu Zhengshuan the Heaven Lord was only Great Eternity Immortal, and yet her sect had Great Eternity Immortal. Yeah, my father is Great Eternity Immortal. Even the Heaven Lord of Gonghua Heaven needs to be respectful to my father, Qin Yanmei said with pride. Yimo asked in confusion, "Isn't your father managed by the Heaven Lord of Gonghua Heaven?" Qin Yanmei looked dazedly at Yimo, and after a long while she asked in disbelief, "You wouldn't think that a Heaven Lord is the greatest in a heaven domain, right?" Yimo nodded awkwardly. He really thought so indeed. Qin Yanmei was speechless. "I suspect that even after all these years you cared about such things. The Heaven Lord is powerful, but he can't manage all the immortals in a heaven domain. But of course I heard that in the middle and grand heaven domains, many Heaven Lords are the most powerful there. No one would dare to go against their will. But in the low heaven domains, Heaven Lord isn't the greatest. Many Great Eternity Immortal sects are no weaker than the Heaven Lord estate. Some rare sects are even more powerful than the Heaven Lord, but they just don't want to be Heaven Lord. So that's it." Yimo sighed. This was good for him. If everything in a heaven domain could reach the Heaven Lord, then it wasn't too hard for the Heaven Lord to find someone. No wonder he wasn't hunted at the Blackweed Forest. Qin Yanmei rolled her eyes and continued, "My father has a very good friend called Gong Sun Yin. He's not only a Great Eternity Immortal but also a Level 5 Immortal Pill Master. He has a disciple called Gong Sun Jiu, also an Immortal Pill Master. My father wants me to marry that Gong Sun Jiu. I don't want to." Yimo realized what she wanted now. She wanted him to act as her Dao partner and make her dad give up the thought. Yimo then said, "Don't sects care about matching status? That Jiangsun Jiu is also an Immortal Pill Master and has a Great Eternity Immortal Master. Why don't you agree?" Qin Yanmei blushed. "I know, but there's someone I like. He's an Immortal Pill Master and he's probably abstruse immortal power now." Yimo asked in more confusion, "Since you have someone you like, why don't you let him go? Are you afraid your father would suddenly kill him, and so you want me to die instead of him?" Suddenly, Yimo felt vigilant. This might really happen. "What are you talking about? My father's reputation is out there. How can he kill a golden immortal? You overestimate yourself too much. I can promise with my life that my father won't do anything to you. The reason I need you to replace Tan Tao is because he went to trial at the Chaos Star domain. This time my father has to see him. Wait? Emo asked. What is that Chaos Star domain? Qin Yanmei sighed helplessly. I really don't know how you reached Golden Immortal and know nothing. The Chaos Star domain is the best trial grounds for cultivators in the low 11 heaven domains. There's chaos and danger everywhere. People can cultivate body refinement there as well as all sorts of magic arts and immortal essence. One could even cultivate spirit sense there. Some people say it's divided into 9 levels and each level is more dangerous. Some say it's divided into 36 levels. I don't know exactly as I haven't been inside. Then she raised her brow. Not anyone can go in there to trial. Then, there was longing and pride in her eyes. Clearly she thought about her lover going in there. Emo didn't care about that and immediately asked, Where is it? How do I go in? Qin Yanmei instantly frowned and looked at Emo. Pill Master Yi, I came to you asking for help. You haven't helped me with anything, and instead I'm teaching you things. Emo said awkwardly, Sorry. I'm just asking where it is. If I have time I want to go see. Qin Yanmei shook her head in her heart. Did this golden immortal think he's good because he killed a golden immortal middle stage at primary stage? If she told him how to get there he might die immediately or get crushed in faith. But thinking that she needed his help, she didn't say any harsh words. It's extremely dangerous in there. Many golden immortal tertiary stage cultivators who go there die for certain. You're only a golden immortal primary stage, don't even think about it. You can't go in there whenever you want. You need Great Eternity Immortal Space Transmission Rune to break into there. But when you go out you don't need it. Emo fell silent and then said, Goddess Qin. I'm willing to help you, but you need to agree to 2 conditions. Don't tell me you want to go in there. If that's the case, I'm not helping you, I'm killing you. I can get the rune to go there, but if you go in it's suicide. Qin Yanmei said. Emo said seriously, Don't worry, if you give me a rune and the way to get there I won't go in recklessly. Of course, I will agree to your request and help you first. Qin Yanmei looked at Emo for a long while and sighed. I didn't expect you to be a dauntless guy. Okay, I've already told you about the dangers there. If you must go, it has nothing to do with me. I'm willing to give you a space laceration rune. Now talk about your second condition. The second condition is that you give me the Wonder Flame Purple Marrow. Emo said. Qin Yanmei snorted. I thought you weren't interested in that, so you thought it wasn't enough. But if you're going to the Chaos Star realm, it's a waste to take it. That's my business, it has nothing to do with you. Emo said. Okay, no problem. I'll give you the Wonder Flame Purple Marrow first. After you help me, I will ask my father to give you a space laceration rune. Qin Yanmei said. Deal. Emo immediately said, and he took the Wonder Flame Purple Marrow. How do you want me to help you? Qin Yanmei said, My father's friend Gongsun Yin has brought his disciple to my sect. My father asks me to return immediately. If I don't bring Tan Tao back, he would really marry me to that Gongsun Ziyu. In my father's eyes, Gongsun Ziyu is a treasure. It would be a waste to miss this opportunity. But if your father insists on marrying you to that Gongsun Ziyu, there's no point even if I act as your Dao partner. Emo said worriedly. Qin Yanmei smiled. Don't worry, my father isn't that type of person. As long as you're not much worse than Gongsun Ziyu, he wouldn't force me. Plus my father loves Immortal Pill Master. You don't seem old, but you're already level 3 Immortal Pill Master. Perhaps you're even better than Gongsun Ziyu. Even if you're not as good as him, you can concoct level 3 Immortal Pill. My father would respect my wishes. Okay, in that case I'm fine with it. When do we go? Emo nodded and asked. Qin Yanmei was very happy with Emo's attitude and immediately said, I think we should go as soon as possible. A day later, Emo left Blackweed Pill Tower to Yitung and Lu Zihongyan as well as some level 2 and level 3 pills before leaving. Before leaving he told the 5 that if they got bored of here then go find him at Gonghua Heaven. If there's danger, then they can escape to the Blackweed Forest with this teleportation formation in his room. Emo knew Gonghua Heaven was very far, and he thought Qin Yanmei was going to use middle-grade flying immortal artifact, but she suddenly took out a top-grade flying immortal artifact. The wealth of Great Eternity Immortal Sect was extraordinary indeed. Even with her power level, she had top-grade flying immortal artifact. Yet he still used Blue Moon, which was made by Lu Wuhu. He disappeared ever since he got injured. Emo exclaimed, wondering where Lu Wuhu was. I heard Gonghua Heaven is very far. How long do we need to fly? Emo couldn't help asking. Qin Yanmei looked speechlessly at Emo. You can really imagine? Fly for how long? Even if there's no danger in the void between heaven domains, we wouldn't even be able to touch the border flying for a few centuries. It's that far. Emo took a cold breath in. Yet he arrogantly thought he could cross heaven domains before. Qin Yanmei rolled her eyes and said, We're going to Bing Cheong Immortal City to take teleportation formation to Hetong Heaven Domain, and then teleportation formation to Moe Heaven Domain. Then from there to... Emo heard that it would take a month of flying even after all the teleportation formation to reach Gonghua Heaven, and wondered what Qin Yanmei was doing all the way here. Then why are you at Blackweed Forest? Emo asked. That's my private matter. Why should I tell you? Qin Yanmei frowned and asked. She suddenly felt she made the wrong decision. This guy didn't seem to know anything, he was a noob. If he was much worse than Gongsun Zihiu, his father would never agree. Emo wasn't dumb and could tell from her expression she wasn't too happy. He planned to scout out about the fifth stone stool before BTU. Now he just shut his mouth. Seeing this, Qin Yanmei didn't keep showing Emo a bad face. A month later, Emo finally came off the teleportation formation in Gonghua Heaven and went on her flying immortal artifact. But perhaps because Emo didn't ask anything, this made Qin Yanmei feel Emo wasn't happy with her. Thinking about how she was about to back at the sect, and if Emo brought this attitude to her father, he didn't need to do anything anymore. Qin Yanmei quickly changed her attitude and told Emo about things in the immortal realm and some rules. Emo was happy to hear this. She knew all sorts of stories and knowledge and greatly opened Emo's eyes. Even though he knew why she did this, he didn't feel revolted against it. Just when Emo thought if he should lead her to the topic about the stone stool, she said, I told you about the stone stool recording. My father said the person who bought it isn't from the 11 low heaven domains. He's from middle or even grand heaven domain. His power is very high. My father felt he was at least immortal king or even immortal monarch. Hearing this, Emo was greatly disappointed. She tricked him. Her father didn't know who that cultivator was. He couldn't let her describe what that person looked like, so he could only scorn, so you didn't know who he is. At the start, you made it seem like you knew such master. Hearing this, Qin Yanmei was about to rage. She kindly told him so much information. This guy didn't thank her and instead scorned her. Emo was extremely disappointed, and that's why he scorned. He felt he also needed to hide his feelings more. Just when Qin Yanmei wanted to scorn back, there was surprise and joy on her face. She quickly pulled Emo up and stood at the head of the flying ship, letting Emo get close to her. Emo's spirit sense scanned a few dashing lights. Her sect members came to pick her up. It was one man and two women. Yanmei. The two female cultivators saw Qin Yanmei and charged over joyfully and landed on her ship. Martial sister Yanmei, you're back. The male cultivator also came aboard and said. Qin Yanmei happily hugged the two female cultivator and greeted the male cultivator before remembering Emo. Yanmei. He is? One female cultivator looked at Emo in confusion. Qin Yanmei grabbed Emo's hand and said, This is my friend. Emo said before Qin Yanmei could say a name, Martial sister and Martial brother, greetings. I'm Emo. Emo didn't want to use Tan Tao's name, so he used his own name. Qin Yanmei was really planning to use Tan Tao's name. She frowned a little but quickly recovered. Yes. This is my friend Emo. I brought him back to see father. The three studied Emo from head to toe but didn't see anything extraordinary about him. They really didn't know why someone as excellent as Yanmei would be Dao partners with someone this ordinary. Qin Yanmei quickly introduced to Emo. They're my martial brother and sisters. This is my sixth martial brother Wang Wenqin. Emo just realized that this Wang Wenqin was already abstruse immortal primary stage. The female cultivator who asked who he was Shi Yayo. The other pretty female cultivator was Feng Machuan. They were both golden immortal tertiary stage. Perhaps due to Qin Yinmei, despite EMO looked very ordinary and only had golden immortal primary stage power. Wang Wenqin and them were rather nice to EMO. They didn't forget about EMO while talking. Feng Machuan was even very hospitable towards EMO. Top-grade immortal artifact was very fast. They spoke as they went and soon arrived at Extreme Sword Sect. EMO exclaimed seeing the sect shrouded in rainbow immortal spirit chi clouds and that grand temperament that came at his face. This was the outlook of the immortal realm. By Immortal City was already grand enough, but compared to Extreme Sword Sect it was lacking something. As they landed outside the sect, the dense immortal spirit chi came right at their face. EMO envied this was just outside the sect, just how good was the best palsy in the sect. What would a status immortal sect be like? There was a defense formation outside, but EMO knew it was no lower than level 7 immortal formation. At the entrance to the sect the words Extreme Sword seemed to almost fly off. It made EMO just dizzy looking at it. When he stared at it, spirit kais appeared in his brain. They were endless as though about to explode. There was a feeling that was about to spew out from his heart, but he couldn't grasp that spewing feeling. It made him very desperate, but that feeling was gone. What he saw was still the words Extreme Sword. So powerful, EMO looked at these two words and admired the master who left behind these two words. Just what power was this person? Martial brother Yi, what are you looking at? Qing Yinmei's martial sister Feng Machuan saw EMO was disappointed, so she asked. EMO thought these two words probably contained the secret of Extreme Sword Sect. He cultivated 3 birth chant and it was best at calculating the secrets of any cultivation method. If he said that he felt something looking at these two words, would he be captured as a spy? I just felt that the immortal spirit chi here is so dense. If I cultivate here for a few years would I make huge progress? EMO made an excuse. Feng Chuanmo rolled her eyes charmingly as though saying I would be dumb to believe you. EMO followed them inside the sect. The immortal spirit chi here was indeed more intense. This time EMO really wanted to cultivate here for a few years. Don't worry about cultivation. If you become the fiancé of our sect, would you need to worry about no place for cultivation? Feng Chuanmo whispered to EMO's ears. EMO was speechless. I did want to cultivate here, but I'm not the fiancé. Si Hunmo, you're always whispering to martial brother Yi. Don't you think Nianmei would get jealous? Sure, Yayo purposely joked. Feng Chuanmo's face blushed and just wanted to talk when 2 more dashing lights landed before them. It was one male and female. The male cultivator was extremely handsome, abstruse immortal primary stage. That female cultivator was no lesser than Qin Yanmei. To EMO, she seemed even prettier than Qin Yanmei a little. She reminded him about Qing Ru. Everything about her was just so perfect. Such a beauty, EMO couldn't help looking at her for longer. The only pity was that she always kept a cold face. Her power was also abstruse immortal primary stage. Nianmei, you're back. The handsome man was clearly happy to see Qin Nianmei. The female cultivator also greeted plainly. Qin Nianmei responded ecstatically, Martial brother Wu? Martial sister Bing Yu? Are you guys going out? The male cultivator quickly said, no, a friend of Bing Yu's master came. Bing Yu is going to greet people and I'm going with her. EMO could immediately tell what was going on. Indeed. Qin Yinmei smiled and said, good luck, martial brother Wu. Everyone knew what this meant, but that Bing Yu didn't say anything. After the two left, Feng Chunma whispered to EMO, is martial sister Bing Yu pretty? She's not only the prettiest in our sect, but also the prettiest in Gonghua heaven. You wouldn't fall in love with her after seeing her, right? EMO was speechless. Bing Yu was indeed very pretty and was abstruse immortal primary stage, but EMO only visually enjoyed the beauty. That's it. There were beautiful women everywhere in the immortal realm. Ugly women were very rare. Everyone heard what Feng Chuanma said and Qin Yinmei groaned. Chuanma? Can you stop talking gibberish? After entering the sect, EMO flew with them for a few hundred kilometers before coming to the foot of a mountain that was covered in clouds. Martial brother Wenqin, I'm going to see father. Take EMO to rest for me. Qin Yinmei said. EMO shook his head. Since we're pretending to be lovers, You should be sending me to rest. Now that you tell someone else to do it and news gets to your dad, there would be no way he would believe it. Just when Wang Wenqin wanted to answer, Feng Chuanma said, Nianmei, I'm free, I'll go do it. Then she turned to Yimo and said, Martial brother Yi, come with me. Seeing Yimo leave with Feng Chuanma, Shiyuya whispered to Qin Nianmei's ear, Nianmei Sihunmo seems to be very nice to martial brother Yi. Did you not notice? Why would Qin Nianmei care about such things? Even if it was true, she wouldn't care. She just patted Shiyuya and said, I'm going to see my father, I'll come find you later. Feng Chuanma took Yimo to an elegant yard and pointed inside. This cultivation home is not bad, right? You can stay here. There was a lawn for cultivating magic outside. There was a bamboo forest and a small lake nearby. This place was filled with spirit chi. It was indeed great. Yimo immediately said happily, Thank you, martial sister Sihunmo. This is great. Feng Sihunmo smiled but didn't leave. Instead, she followed Yimo inside. Yimo looked strangely at her, not understanding why she didn't leave. Seeing this, Feng Chuanma suddenly said, Yimo, if I'm not wrong, you're not Nianmei's lover, am I right? Yimo said calmly, That's right, I'm not. He didn't need to deny it. Since she could tell, she clearly knew that there was someone Qin Nianmei liked. He was just doing a deal with Qin Nianmei. Qin Nianmei leaked this herself. You're a very straightforward person. Do you not like her? She's the number 2 beauty of our extreme sword sect. Feng Chuanma was confused. Yimo sat down and poured himself some immortal spirit tea. He couldn't even be bothered answering her. Her actions made him feel vigilant. This was the first time he saw her and she was so talkative. Seeing Yimo couldn't even be bothered to reply to her, she suddenly smiled. Okay, you probably have a deal with Nianmei. I won't interfere. But since she can get you to act as Tantao, you're probably an immortal pill master, right? What level immortal pill master are you? Yimo still said nothing. Seeing this, Feng Chuanma gritted her teeth and took out some immortal spirit herb and then some lotus seeds. I have 12 sets of great unity pill materials. How many can you concoct? If you can't concoct anything, then pretend I said nothing. No wonder she treated him differently. She needed his help. Yimo grabbed that lotus and looked. It was a mud lotus. This 12 sets of herbs were invaluable. Yet a mere golden immortal power Feng Chuanma could take it out. Yimo was really surprised. Even a big sect might not be able to take out 12 sets of great unity pill ingredients. This mod lotus also gave Yimo a very strange feeling. It seemed to have more immortal spirit chi than the mud lotus he found, and there was even some chaos chi to it. Although it couldn't be chaos immortal spirit herb, but Yimo knew this was the top grade mod lotus. Where could one find such mud lotus? What shook Yimo even more was that why did she find him? An unknown immortal pill master to concoct it for her. This was some pill that immortal pill great master concocted. This was her first time seeing him. He didn't even take out his pill cauldron. Why did she think he could do it? It's the first time we see each other, and you take out such precious immortal spirit herb as well as so much for me to practice. Are you not scared of me spilling this news, or aren't you afraid of me wasting it all? Yimo put it down and asked. Seeing Yimo calm down completely in a short while, Feng Chuanma breathed easy and collected her thoughts. I trust my sense. I trust you're someone trustworthy. I trust that no matter if you can concoct it or not, you won't spill the deal between us. And I really can't find anyone else. Although it's the first time we saw each other, I still want to bet because I have no more time. Seeing Yimo still say nothing, Feng Chuanma said again, cultivating till now I still have my virginity. If you can concoct the great unity pill, I can give that to you too when you give me the pills. I can't let you break through, but it should improve your power. Then she even pulled her braid down and the top of her clothes. A faint aroma came. Yimo side this extreme sword sect had this weird tradition. Some wanted to fake dual cultivation, some wanted the real thing. Yimo waved his hand, don't worry about other things. I can indeed concoct the level 4 great unity pill, but I can't promise the success rate. I can give you 5 cauldrons of it, but I have a small request. Feng Chuanma definitely didn't need all these great unity pill herself, but as for what it was, it had nothing to do with him. He had already tried level 4 immortal pill, although he didn't concoct top grade, middle grade was definitely fine. Plus, he only tried 5 times and he succeeded. Now that Feng Sihunmo took out 12 sets, it meant that even if he failed 2, he still could succeed 10. But Yemo didn't plan to concoct 10 cauldrons. There were many supplementary ingredients here that were very important to Yemo. He didn't need all those great unity pills. So he prepared to give her 5 cauldrons. 1 for himself and then plant 2 mud lotus in the golden page world. Pill Master Yi, can you really concoct great unity pill? Feng Chuanma almost came up to grab his hands in excitement. She couldn't control her emotions. She really had no choice but come to Yemo. If she had the slightest opportunity, she wouldn't come to this never-seen-before immortal pill master. Yemo dodged. Regardless if she did that on purpose, he wasn't going to let her grab him. She looked at Yemo with slightly red eyes. Seeing that Yemo didn't say any more, she remembered what he said before and said, "As long as you can concoct the great unity pill for me, I'm willing to agree to 10 conditions. I just need to know where you got this mud lotus from?" Yemo could feel she was truly excited, but he didn't understand. She was in a great eternity immortal sect. There was no way there wasn't a great unity pill for her. But this wasn't what he cared about. He wanted to know where the mud lotus came from. It came from the Chaos Star realm. My brother went there for trial and found a mud lotus. My brother didn't die in there, but he was ambushed by them after he came out. Feng Chuanma's eyes went red with fury. It was the Chaos Star realm again. Yemo desired this place even more. There were so many good immortal spirit herbs there. At this moment, he felt pity towards her. Yemo didn't keep asking her about her brother. He said, "I'll help you concoct it now. 6 hours later, come pick it up." "You can concoct 5 cauldrons in 6 hours? You're a level 5 immortal pill great master." Feng Chuanma stared at Yemo in shock. Even in the 11 low heaven domains, level 5 immortal pill great master was respected by countless people. Was he really a level 5 immortal pill master? How could that be? If he agreed, then he definitely was a liar. "No," Yemo replied. Then Yemo hesitated and said, "I hope you won't tell anyone about me helping you with pill concoction." This time, Feng Chuanma said without hesitation, "Pill Master Yi, don't worry. I definitely won't say it unless I don't want to live." Seeing Yemo prepare for pill concoction, Feng Chuanma quickly said, "Pill Master Yi, I'll wait for you next door. When you're done, just call me." Feng Chuanma left. Just thinking about the great unity pills she was about to get and her family that was on the brink of annihilation, the intense flames of retribution burned in her heart. She couldn't rely on the sect, so she would rely on her own power. Her brother was gone for the Feng family. What else did she need to worry about? Yemo really only used 4 hours and a bit and finished 7 cauldrons of pills. There was 1 low grade, 1 middle grade, 3 top grade, and 2 special grade. It was 100% success rate. Seeing Yemo come out in less than 6 hours, Feng Chuanma looked nervous. She didn't dare to ask Yemo. Failure meant that she was over. Yemo took out 6 jade bottles. There was an extra batch of low-grade great unity pills. You can keep it. Yemo originally planned to keep the 2 special grades for himself, but on the account that her brother died for this, he gave her 1 and the extra low-grade batch too. This was the first time she had seen a pill master give extra pills. A batch of low-grade great unity pills was still invaluable for her family. She grabbed the bottles and shakily opened them. There were 3 batches of top grade and 1 batch of special grade. Feng Chuanma was completely dazed. Even level 5 immortal pill great master wouldn't be able to concoct such grade great unity pills. Was she dreaming? A few minutes later, she woke up. She wasn't dreaming. "Take the pills and leave," Yemo reminded. Feng Chuanma reacted and quickly put away all the pills and then bowed shakily to Yemo. "Pill Master Yi, I didn't expect you are really level 5 immortal pill great master. Coming to you for pill concoction is the most correct thing I did. You are 100 times better than that Yen Tantao. If I was Nianmei, I'm going to rest." Yemo interrupted. "Thank you." Feng Chuanma passed a jade slip to Yemo and said, "My brother left this to me. It's the places he had been in the Chaos Star realm. I'll be going." She could tell Yemo wanted to go the Chaos Star realm. Yemo grabbed the jade slip and thought, helping people was helping yourself indeed. This jade slip was just what he needed. Emo quickly accompanied her to the door. Pill Master Yi, perhaps I still have pills I need you to help concoct. As soon as Feng Chuanma got to the door, a dashing light came. Martial Sister Bing Yu. Feng Chuanma blushed and subconsciously tidied her messy hair. She put all her attention on the pill and forgot her clothes were untidy. Emo saw it was that extremely beautiful ice-cold female cultivator. Didn't she leave before? How is she back so quick? The female cultivator saw Feng Sihunmo was at Yemo's place and her clothes were untidied. She showed a sliver of surprise. She knew Yemo was Qin Yanmei's Dao partner and came back with her. Why was he suddenly with Feng Chuanma? By the looks of it, they just came off bed. But she immediately regained her composure. Martial Sister Chuanma. Yanmei was looking for you and didn't find you. She's at the main palace now. Yes, Martial Sister Bing Yu, I'll be going first. Feng Chuanma blushed and quickly left. Yemo quickly said, if I'm still here, you can come back at any time. The female cultivator said coldly at Feng Chuanma left. The sect leader is waiting for you at the Extreme Sword Main Palace. I'm here to get you. Yemo was confused. This Bing Yu was pure cold and she didn't even talk much. How could she be told to get someone? This wasn't normal. BTU, no matter what, a great eternity immortal sect wouldn't ambush him for no reason, right? Now that she was here to fetch him to the main palace, clearly the father-in-law wanted to see the son-in-law and test him. If he passes, he might be able to leave with the space laceration rune. Okay, lead the way. Yemo nodded and didn't ask. Nianmei and Chuanma are both kind-hearted girls. I don't want you to hurt any of them. Bing Yu suddenly said. Yemo was speechless and shook his head, ignoring her. Seeing this, the female cultivator said no more and just went faster. A few minutes later, Yemo followed this ice-cold female cultivator to a huge palace. As soon as he just got to the door, the dense immortal spirit chi came charging at his face, making Yemo strongly desire to have such a cultivation grounds. There definitely was immortal range below here. The female cultivator walked towards a seat on the left. She saw that annoying figure next to her master was gone and breathed easy. The reason she opted to bring Yemo here was because she didn't want to be with that person. But Yemo found the palace was filled with people on the two sides. The top man sitting on the left and a face of smile, long beard and quite an immortal-like being. Yemo saw his power was already great eternity immortal and Qin Yanmei was sitting next to him. Yemo guessed this person was probably the sect leader. Other than him, there were two more great eternity immortals. One was a beautiful female cultivator sitting on the side of the sect leader. Bing Yu sat next to her. She was probably Bing Yu's master. The other great eternity immortal sat at the right. He was a man without facial hair. He seemed very ethereal and divine. There were two cultivators next to him, both abstruse immortal power. Yemo guessed this was probably Gongsun Yin and the two people next to him were probably his disciples. Other than this, there were about 100 people in here. There were people from Great Extreme Immortal to Great Unity Immortal. Everyone had immortal spirit fruit and immortal spirit wine before them. Just from here, Yemo could tell this sect was extremely powerful. Yemo was studying everyone and everyone was studying Yemo. Come here. Qin Yanmei saw Yemo was dazing and quickly said. Yemo nodded and walked up to the long-bearded Great Eternity Immortal and bowed an ordinary immortal greeting before saying, Yemo greet Chen Bei. The long-bearded Great Eternity Immortal frowned a little, seeing that Yemo's greeting wasn't up to standard, and his smile faded a little, but he soon nodded and asked, You're the person Mei likes? This straightforward? Yemo hesitated and said, Yes. We didn't inform sect leader about our relationship. Please forgive us, sect leader. No need for forgiveness, you're not dumb. I won't ask where you came from. Extreme Sword is a great eternity immortal sect and Gongsun Jiu is a Wanbei I like. His talent is top grade and power is at abstruse immortal primary stage. He's also an immortal pill master. If you're willing to leave Mei Air, I can give you the cultivation resource up to great unity immortal. Hearing this, Qin Yanmei groaned, Dad? Yemo has the same goals as me and I chose according to Dad's principles. He's an immortal pill master and I only like him. I wouldn't agree to anyone else. Haha, Nianmei, you don't know, there are many immortal pill master, but without a master the greatest prodigy would stop at level 3. He would never be able to reach immortal pill great master. The no facial hair great eternity immortal laughed. Martial Uncle Gongsun is right, but Nianmei only likes Yemo. If I abandon him now, that is just shameless. Plus, I believe Yemo can reach immortal pill great master. Qin Nianmei rebuked without hesitation. Feng Chuanma grinned in contempt behind a great extreme immortal. Yemo was a level 5 immortal pill great master. That Gongsun In might not even be able to beat Yemo himself, much less his disciple. Unexpectedly, the sect leader didn't reproach his daughter and just looked at Yemo as his tone went cold. I won't blame you guys for determining this between yourselves, but as a man, don't you think you don't deserve her if all you do is let her speak for you? Seeing Qin Nianmei glare at him, Yemo knew she was warning him that if he didn't do anything there would be no space laceration rune. He saluted with his fists and said loudly, whether or not I deserve Nianmei is not something I just say. If anyone thinks he's more suitable for Nianmei than me, stand up. No matter what topic, I'll take it for Nianmei. Yemo was sick of the bickering here, so he said this without the sect leader Qin testing him. Hearing this, sect leader Qin nodded. Not bad. I like this decisive character. Martial Uncle Qin Jiu truly likes martial sister Nianmei. Although I'm abstruse immortal, but cultivation is just the supplementary thing for me. Pill concoction is my main means. I believe that even reaching immortal pill great master isn't that far-fetched. One cultivator said, great cultivation is about competition. Compete with the heavens, people, anything. If you don't compete, you have no chance. The sect leader looked approvingly at Gongsun Jiu. Yemo scanned this cultivator. He was probably Gongsun Zihiu. Abstruse immortal primary stage power, a large state greater than him. He's also very handsome. Yemo shook his head. He looked like he didn't intervene with mortal affairs. Then what's the point of getting a wife? Brother Peifu, Nianmei is very well talented, but she had only been cultivating in the sect. She hadn't seen much of the world, so she can't make a good decision for some things. Since both of them like Nianmei and are willing to compete for her, why don't they compete against each other and determine the results? Gongsun In said. Brother Yin's suggestion is good. What do everyone think? Qin Peifu looked around. Yes, maybe this test will allow Nianmei to know who is the true hero. Of course. Yemo sneered. These people weren't blind. Could they not tell he was golden immortal power and Gongsun Zihiu was abstruse immortal? Just when Qin Nianmei was about to say something, Qin Peifu stopped her. Clearly, these people were helping Gongsun Jiu because he was an immortal pill master and his master was immortal pill great master. A competition is a great way of resolving things, but I'm worried Gongsun Jiu is already abstruse immortal primary stage, and yet Yemo is only golden immortal primary stage. The beautiful great eternity immortal female cultivator said. Gongsun Jiu saluted with his fists to everyone. I've said since I dare to ask to be Dao partners with martial sister Nianmei, I won't lose to anyone. I heard this younger martial brother Yemo was the immortal pill master too. I may not be anyone special, but I'm willing to compete with martial brother Yi in pill concoction. Yemo was annoyed. This Gongsun Jiu made it sound like he easily reached abstruse immortal and he wasn't going to lower himself to beat him with cultivation level. Plus, Jiu called him younger martial brother. Who did he think he was? Yemo Gongsun Zihiu is willing to compete with you in pill concoction. What do you think? Qin Peifu liked pill concoction cultivators because he felt only those cultivators could go further in the path of cultivation. Yemo thought that Qin Nianmei really knew her dad well. She knew that he would definitely be asked to compete in pill concoction. Sect leader Qin, I like Jiu's idea. Although I know a lot of things, pill concoction is my weakest link. But since Jiu said pill concoction is his main means, then it's best I beat him on this. I believe it would benefit his cultivation if Jiu lost in his own pill concoction match. Yemo said without hesitation. Everyone laughed to themselves. This Yemo didn't want to lose out on anything at all. Gongsun Zihiu called him younger martial brother, wanting to suppress Yemo with age superiority, but Yemo just called him Jiu like a Chen Bei talking to a Wan Bei. Pesach. Chen Nianmei couldn't hold in her laughter. She hadn't been in contact with Yemo for long, but she knew he didn't want to lose out one bit. She didn't expect him to even take this seriously. Gong Sun Jiu's face was calm and didn't seem angry at all. Qin Peifei nodded, clearly feeling Gong Sun Zihiu was more mature. The beautiful great eternity immortal female cultivator sighed. It looked like Yemo had the advantage in the battle of mouths, but in the sect leader's heart he lost a bit already. Gong Sun Yin nodded. He was very satisfied with his disciples' performance. They were above golden immortal and yet still wanted to win arguments. Such opponent was not worth attention. How could Yemo not know this would make Qin Peifu dislike him, but he didn't care. He wasn't going to allow others to act big in front of him. Pill Master Yi, what level immortal Pill Master are you? If you're just level 1 immortal Pill Master, I believe we don't need to compete. Gong Sun Jiu changed his words and didn't dare to say younger martial brother Yemo. Seeing this, Yemo didn't keep calling him Jiu, but he interrupted. I wonder what level immortal Pill Master Gong Sun is? After meeting my master, I became level 1 immortal Pill Master within 100 years. Then I'm level 2 immortal Pill Master. Gong Sun Jiu was interrupted by Yemo before he finished again. Yemo really disliked the way he talked. He was going to crush his confidence. Gong Sun Jiu was annoyed. No matter how well his manners were, he couldn't take Yemo's insult again and again. He glanced coldly at Yemo. But I was level 2 immortal Pill Master a few hundred years ago. Now I'm going to concoct level 3. What made Gong Sun Jiu even more furious was that Yemo interrupted him again. Then I'm level 3 immortal Pill Master. Then Yemo added, if you can concoct level 3, then I'm level 4 immortal Pill Master. Gong Sun Jiu sneered, Pill Master Yi can only fight with words? Did you not have a master teach you? Level 4 is not Immortal Pill Master, it's Immortal Pill Great Master. Oh, so I'm Immortal Pill Great Master. I thought I was Immortal Pill Master. It seems it's better to have a master. Otherwise, I don't even know I reached Great Master. Yemo sneered. Pisich. A few female disciples couldn't resist laughing again. Even the icy cold Bing Yu wanted to laugh. Sigh, not a good match for Nianmei. Bing Yu's master shook her head. She clearly didn't like Yemo trying to win a battle of mouth everywhere. Qin Peifu really disliked this and coughed. Since you're both Immortal Pill Master, then begin pill concoction now. Say which pills you want to make and what herbs the Extreme Sword Sect can provide it all. Then Qin Peifu looked coldly at his daughter, signaling she chose a bad Dao partner. Then I'll concoct Abstruse Essence Pill. I need rootless floating lin, silver yellow grass, snow needle fruit. Gong Sun Jiu brought up more than 10 herbs. It was a rather hard to concoct pill amongst level 3 immortal pill. It was used for abstruse immortal cultivation and good for breaking through bottlenecks. Then I'll concoct abstruse essence pill. Then Yemo repeated exactly what Gong Sun Jiu said. Everyone was lost for words. Clearly Yemo was targeting Gong Sun Jiu. But everyone guessed wrong, Yemo really didn't this time. The reason he did this was so he would use the same immortal spirit herb and make the same pill as Gong Sun Jiu to end the battle quickly. That way, even those who didn't understand pill concoction would know. Then he would be able to get his space laceration rune and leave. Deal would be done. He didn't have all that time to play with Qin Nianmei. Very well. I believe concocting the same pill would clearly decide the outcome between us in case someone finds all sorts of excuses. Gong Sun Jiu sneered. Gong Sun Jiu actually nodded in agreement. That's right, if I concoct some other pill, and someone thinks the pill I concocted was too easy, and won inappropriately, Nianmei would definitely help me. Yemo said this to push Gong Sun Jiu on the opposing side of Qin Nianmei. Indeed, Qin Nianmei sneered. I'm not blind, I can tell whose pills are better. In fact, she was ready. The best outcome was of course Yemo winning, but even if Yemo lost, as long as he didn't lose too much, she had the confidence to let her father agree to her. Gong Sun Jiu looked hatefully at this pill master Yi, who caused Qin Nianmei to dislike him. The immortal spirit herb were soon sent over and Gong Sun Jiu released his pill cauldron without even looking at Yemo and shot out a purple flame. Yemo didn't start immediately. His pill concoction speed was very fast. Seeing how he used a top-grade immortal artifact pill cauldron, Yemo sighed. Having a good master made all the difference. Top-grade immortal artifact pill cauldron was more expensive than top-grade flying immortal artifact. That purple flame was Li Ming fire. Ranked 9th amongst heaven flame in the cultivation realm and 33 Rudin all 108 flames. Seeing everyone look at him, Emo could only release a middle-grade immortal artifact pill cauldron. Emo wasn't going to take out Shinnon cauldron. He felt it wasn't ordinary. Seeing this, everyone knew the outcome was already decided. Emo then slowly took out Mist Lotus Heart Fire. He didn't even want to expose this if it wasn't its grade was too low. Mist Lotus Heart Fire? Everyone recognized immediately. Gong Sun In was a little surprised seeing this but immediately sighed. This flame had the wrong master. It was a waste for an ordinary solo cultivator to take it. Gong Sun Jiu was completely focused on pill concoction and didn't notice what flame Emo took out. Emo instead admired this guy. It wasn't easy to be fully focused on pill concoction under such circumstance. Emo slowly chucked the immortal spirit herb in the pill cauldron and used Mist Lotus Heart Fire to refine the immortal spirit herb. Seeing Emo do things step by step while Gong Sun Jiu was so fast his movements couldn't be seen, everyone knew that Gong Sun Jiu was better than Emo in every way except a flame. Qin Yanmei was desperate locoing at this. She knew Emo was a level 3 immortal pill master, but she didn't expect his pill concoction skills to be this bad. The only one who knew that Yemo's pill concoction skills was too much stronger than Gong Sun Jiu was Feng Chuanma. Half an hour later, Gong Sun Jiu was using pull pill spell and pulled out 12 pills in 3 seconds. They immediately had a pill aroma and was placed in the bottle he prepared. Yemo's spirit sense immediately recognized the grade of Gong Sun Jiu's pills. When everyone was amazed with Gong Sun Jiu's proficient pill concoction method, Emo took out a jade bottle and instantly took out 12 pills. Seeing Emo finish 2, Qin Yanmei breathed easy. Everyone thought Emo would lose for sure and didn't notice that Emo was only about 10 seconds slower than Gong Sun Jiu. He clearly moved so slowly before, but his pill concoction was no slower than Gong Sun Jiu, maybe even a little faster. Very well, Jiu. Qin Peifu suddenly stopped as he found Emo was done. He immediately changed his words, both of you are prodigies of pill Dao, finishing the same abstruse essence pill in under half an hour. Now allow Elder Yang of our sect and Brother Gongsun to judge together. Gongsun In quickly said, Martial Sister Yang Zai can have a look, I don't need to. After all, Gongsun Jiu is my disciple. In that case, I'll have a look at their pills. The beautiful Great Eternity Immortal female cultivator nodded. Seeing Emo send his pills over to Elder Yang Zai, Gongsun Jiu hesitated for a moment and gave his bottle to Elder Yang. Emo wanted to laugh. Gongsun Jiu was scared Elder Yang would cheat just because she said something fair. Yang Zai didn't seem to notice this and took both jade bottles. She looked very calm before, but after looking at it, she was shook. Seeing this, everyone wanted to know what would make a Great Eternity Immortal so shocked. Martial Sister Yang, what are the results? Qin Peifei asked desperately. Yang Zai sighed, Pill Master Yi probably won by a little bit. What? Gongsun Jiu called out in shock, but then he immediately realized his disrespect and quickly apologized. The cultivators started chattering. Clearly, they didn't believe Elder Yang's judgment. Thinking about how she helped Emo before, clearly everyone felt she intentionally made Gongsun Jiu lose. But no matter what, they couldn't doubt her. After all, no one would be dumb enough to doubt a Great Eternity Immortal publicly. Gongsun Yin's face was bad, but he didn't make any request and said, haha. Since Pill Master Yi can beat Jiu a little, he's indeed not bad. Jiu, come back. He immediately agreed to Yang Zai's judgment and didn't ask to see the pills. Gongsun Jiu was unsatisfied, but he didn't argue and went back. Even Qin Peifu sighed. Since Yang Zai wanted to help Qin Yanmei, it meant Qin Yanmei already asked for her help. Since Emo could concoct abstruse essence pill, he wouldn't be that bad. Plus he was who his daughter liked, so he said nothing. Seeing Gongsun Yin's face, how could Yang Zai not know what he thought? He gave the 2 jade bottles to him. Although I decided that Emo won, but I'm no immortal pill master, I might have misjudged. Martial Brother Gongsun is a mortal pill great master, so it's better you have a look. No need. Gongsun In said, but he still took the jade bottles. He really wanted to see what Emo was concocting so slowly that could beat his disciple. The 2 jade bottles were opened again. Gong Sun In rapidly looked at them and his face changed. Moments later he sighed, Pill Master Ye's abstruse essence pill is indeed a little better than Jiu. Pill Master Yi probably won. Pill Master Yi wasn't bluffing, indeed his accomplishment would be unlimited in the future. Master! Gong Sun Jiu looked at his master in confusion. Theoretically his master wouldn't help Yemo, so why did he say Yemo won? Was Yemo's pills really better than his? Yemo saluted with his fists. That was just pure luck. That was the hardest cauldron of pills I've concocted so far. The win is truly due to luck. Seeing Yemo's genuine expression, everyone realized that Yemo's cauldron was probably really good due to his luck. Perhaps this was fate between him and Qin Yanmei. Qin Peifu also looked at Gong Sun In confusion. He really didn't believe Yemo would win. Seeing everyone look at him, Gong Sun In pointed at the 2 jade bottles, out of Jiu's 12 pills. There is 1 top grade, 8 middle grade and 3 low grade. Everyone looked at Gong Sun Jiu with awe. The main signature of Immortal Pill Master reaching Immortal Pill Great Master was concocting 12 top grade level 3 Immortal pills. Gong Sun Jiu had one meaning, that he was making progress towards Immortal Pill Great Master. This process might be long, but it was better than countless Immortal Pill Master who had no hope. Soon, everyone thought about Yemo. Didn't that mean he had at least 1 top grade pill? Gong Sun In said, Pill Master Yi also has 1 top grade pills, but there are 9 middle grade and 2 low grade. With this, everyone realized how Yemo won. He had 1 extra middle grade pill and 1 less low grade pill. This difference was really fine. If it wasn't that this control wasn't something people could control, people would even think Yemo did this intentionally, but not even level 6 Immortal Pill Great Master might be able to do this. Everyone could only sigh that Yemo was truly lucky. Gong Sun Jiu was immensely frustrated. Yemo won him by a mere middle grade pill. He would rather his cauldron have failed than to lose in such a frustrating way. Come, try the immortal spirit fruit of our extreme sword sect. Qin Peifu changed the subject. Qin Yanmei rejoiced. She didn't Yemo to easily beat Gong Sun Jiu like this. She didn't use the other cards she had prepared. She waved to Yemo, quickly come over, sit here. Seeing his daughter's happy look, Qin Peifu smiled. He felt her eyes were quite keen to be able to find an Immortal Pill Master better than Gong Sun Yin's disciple. Yemo bowed to Yang Zai and then walked to the table next to Qin Peifu but didn't sit down. Okay, great. Qin Peifu started to like Yemo now. Seeing that he was going to say more, Yemo quickly bowed and said, Chen Bei, Wan Bei got news not long ago. There's something important that I need to go back for. So, Yemo was done with the mission, so he had to go. He was scared this Qin Peifu would ask things. Qin Yanmei didn't expect Yemo was leaving this quickly. She was grateful that Yemo helped her, but now Yemo was leaving without even sitting down. Seeing the questioning glance from her father, she felt uncomfortable. This guy was too heartless. He didn't even want to stay a little longer after the deal was done, but she could only help Yemo now. Yes, Dad. When he came he had things he didn't deal with. After he finishes it, I'll let him stay here. Qin Peifu smiled. In that case, send Yemo off first and then come back. I have some things to ask you. I know. Chen Yanmei quickly agreed and then pulled Yemo's hand as they walked out. How come Yemo not know what she meant? She was scared that not long after he left her father would try and help her find a Dao partner again. So she did this in front of everyone. Martial brother Yi, I'll come send you off too. Feng Chuanma was very disappointed to see Yemo leave. She still wanted to ask Yemo to help with pill concoction again. What are you doing? Nianmei is sending Yemo off. You don't need to go join her. The nun-dressed great extreme immortal next to Feng Chuanma quickly stopped her. Only Bingyu knew what was going on. She clearly saw Feng Chuanma walk out of Yemo's room with untidy clothes. She could only sigh. Feng Chuanma could only sigh as well upon seeing her master stopped her. Now that Yemo left, she could only ask Qin Yanmei about him. Qin Yanmei sent Yemo to the door of the sect and said unhappily, "Aren't you a bit too desperate? You didn't even stay here for a day and you're going to leave." Yemo said plainly, "The deal between us is done. I don't like staying here." Yemo was being honest. He didn't know anyone here and they were all more powerful than him. It was fine if Qin Yanmei was really his Dao partner, but she wasn't. Never mind, I really didn't expect you to be able to beat Gongsun Jiyu in pill concoction. I thought it would take a long while for me to convince my father, but it succeeded so fast. Thank you, Qin Yanmei said. Emo waved his hand. No need to thank me, we're just doing a deal. Plus, there's something you haven't given me yet, aren't you? Qin Yanmei rolled her eyes. I didn't forget. She took out a rune and a jade slip. The map to the Chaos Star realm is inside. This is the space laceration rune. But I need to remind you, it's suicide to go there with your power. You helped me and I feel you're a good person, so I don't want you to die immediately. Thank you. Whether or not I die is my business. After our deal, you are you, I am me. Goodbye. Then Emo got on Blue Moon and disappeared. Pfft. Serves you right to die in the Chaos Star realm. Qin Yanmei cursed behind Yemo's back. Suddenly she felt a little sad. She truly didn't want Yemo to die. He was very cunning, but he kept his promise. Plus, concocting that cauldron of pills was probably the hardest thing he had ever done. After Yemo left, Gongsun Yi no longer had the mood to stay at his friend's place and left with Gongsun Jiyu. Qin Peifu had seen Yemo. Yemo's overall performance was barely satisfactory. He wasn't mature, but he had real capability. As for maturity, that was no problem. After some things it would change. Yang Zai took Bingyu and left the main peak of the sect. Then, she suddenly asked, Bingyu, you don't seem to be happy. You're rarely like this. Is it because Hai Chuanwu still pesters you? The ice-cold female cultivator quickly said, No, master. It's because I feel like Martial's sister Nianmei and Gongsun Jiyu are a better match. That Yemo doesn't seem very mature and he won by luck. Yang Zai looked at her disciple in confusion. She rarely said anything usually. Why did she suddenly exclaim about such things? Yang Zai sighed. Do you really think that Yemo beat Gongsun Jiyu by luck? Did he not? Bingyu asked in shock. Yang Zai said seriously, although I'm not certain that Yemo did it on purpose, his luck is a bit too good. He won with an extra middle grade pill and his procedure wasn't fast. How come he finished only 10 seconds later than Gongsun Jiyu? But master, if he could control pills to such extent, didn't this mean he was a top-grade immortal pill great master or even an immortal pill grandmaster? Bingyu asked in confusion. Yang Zai frowned. This is something I don't understand either. Even an immortal pill great master might not have such accurate control. If Yemo did this intentionally, then he's too scary. He said that was the hardest cauldron of pills he had ever concocted. Didn't that mean he was just lucky? Bingyu asked in confusion. Yang Zai sighed. You can understand this from another perspective. Because he had to concoct a cauldron of pills just a little bit better than Gongsun Jiyu, it took him a lot of effort. I feel this is more applicable to Yemo's character. Plus, the instant Gongsun Jiyu finished pill concoction, Yemo's spirit sense quickly scanned his pills. Huh? Bingyu stared at her master in shock. Is this possible? It's impossible, so that's why I'm doubtful. If this is true, then that Yemo is an unimaginable talent. For such a person, it's not that he doesn't deserve Nianmei, but that Nianmei doesn't deserve him. Yang Zai sighed. Master, cultivation needs a stable mentality. Yemo seems very impetuous and immature. Such a person shouldn't have such capability, right? Plus, even if he has some capabilities, it shouldn't be that Nianmei doesn't deserve him. Bingyu said. Yang Zai fell silent for a while and said, I feel it's very strange too. How could an impetuous person become an immortal pill master great master? Unless his actions were intentional. He had to beat Gongsun Jiyu and make the sect leader accept him as Nianmei's Dao partner, but also needed to leave a bad impression. This is too conflicting. Bingyu fell silent. If her master's guess was right, then that Yemo was too insane. Why did such a prodigy come to the extreme sword sect and immediately get together with Feng Chuanma? Feng Chuanma usually wasn't such a woman either. Did she know that Yemo was extraordinary? Bingyu, don't underestimate any cultivator. Our sect is Great Eternity Immortal Sect and is insurmountable in Gonghua Heaven, but Gonghua Heaven is just a low heaven domain. There are middle and grand heaven domains. In the vast immortal realm, there are too many prodigies. Your path is still long. I hope to take you to see the prodigies of the middle heaven domains. Perhaps there your view would broaden. Master, I understand. I plan to go out for trial anyways and come back when I reach Great Immortal. Bingyu bowed. Xianxia nodded. Okay, the immortal realm is cruel, but if you can't survive in the environment yourself and always stay in the sect, you will never accomplish much. Before, I wasn't about to break through to Great Immortal, so I left the sect and found my own fortune. The Chaos Star realm couldn't be reached through teleportation formation. One must fly there. But it could be reached from any heaven domain directly. The time varies. The slowest was using a low-grade immortal artifact which took a few decades. The fastest was just a few days. In the nearby domains, the cultivators realized that it was the fastest to go to Extreme Wind Heaven first and then go to the Chaos Star realm from there. It would take at most 1 month using a low-grade flying immortal artifact that way. EMO only had a low-grade flying immortal artifact. He would need half a month even flying to the teleportation formation. But EMO didn't mind. He just wanted to improve his power. On the way, he met immortals using all sorts of flying immortal artifacts. Some of them were riding immortal beasts. EMO was very contemptuous towards this. Only a rare few were faster than flying immortal artifacts. Most of them just looked cool. 10 days later, he was halfway to Gonghua Heaven's teleportation formation. Today, he stood at the front deck of Blue Moon studying the jade slip left behind by Feng Chuanma's brother. Then he heard a wave of immortal music. The sound wasn't loud, but it was very clear and comfortable. He scanned with spirit sense and didn't see anyone playing music. EMO judged the direction the sound came from and sped over with Blue Moon to see what it was. But he only went a few 100 kilometers before an even faster dashing light stopped him. EMO immediately knew it was a middle-grade flying immortal artifact. So without hesitation, he released Zhisu. It's you. EMO saw that it was the icy-cold female cultivator Bingyu and put away Zhisu. The female cultivator glanced coldly at EMO and asked, "You don't want to live? What do you mean?" EMO raised a brow and questioned coldly. He almost released Zhisu again. Did this woman think she was powerful just because she was an abstruse immortal? She was a mere abstruse immortal primary stage. That's Gonghua Heaven's Freedom King's chariot. You don't move aside and instead you charge up. If you want to die, you might as well kill yourself without dragging our extreme sword sect into it, Bingyu said emotionlessly. Just when EMO wanted to speak, he heard Bingyu sneer. Shut up. Then she stood on her flying magic artifact and looked down, saying nothing. EMO suddenly felt a powerful force sweep over. He uncontrollably shivered. There was an icy spirit sense that shivered even his soul. It was as though the next moment his soul would run out of his body and even his golden page world would seep out. EMO was shook, and just when he wanted to use the 3-birth chant, he suddenly realized he must not use 3-birth chant here no matter what. If he did, everything was exposed. Sweat dripped from his forehead. His entire body became drenched. Just when EMO didn't know what to do, the spirit sense swept past his body. It was just a few seconds, but EMO felt like it had been a few centuries. There was such a powerful immortal in the world. Just who was this Freedom King? The immortal sound left, and EMO didn't even have the courage to chase up and scan with his spirit sense. He was certain that if he did, he would die. When the immortal music completely disappeared, Bingyu still stood there not moving. EMO didn't move seeing this. 5 minutes later, Bingyu glanced coldly at EMO and was about to fly forward on her flying magic artifact. EMO just realized that this woman just saved his life. Otherwise, if he charged up recklessly, he would have been killed by a beam of spirit sense already. Even if he wasn't killed, all his secrets would be exposed for sure. Martial Sister Bingyu, thanks for saving my life. EMO was truly thankful to her. Bingyu looked plainly at EMO and didn't answer. She was prepared to leave. EMO quickly asked again, Martial Sister Bingyu, who is this Freedom King? What is his power? Bingyu frowned and said, the Freedom King is called Feng Baiken. He's an immortal king. Even the Heaven Lord of Gonghua Heaven has to move aside when seeing him. Immortal King power? Immortal King was this powerful? Emo thought of that blue-dressed female cultivator. Wasn't she a status immortal too? Why wasn't she that powerful? Was she not an immortal king? Seeing Emo daze on the side, Bingyu ignored him and was prepared to keep going when another dashing light came. Martial sister Bingyu, you went so fast. When I went to find you, Martial uncle said you had left already. I finally caught up to you now. A joyful voice sounded. Emo woke up and realized that he knew this cultivator. It was that male cultivator he met at the gates of Extreme Sword Sect, the abstruse immortal primary stage. He seemed to be some martial brother Wu. So you came out with Pill Master Yi, that's good. If it wasn't that Pill Master Ye's flying magic artifact is a little weaker, I really wouldn't be able to catch up to you. The male cultivator saw Emo and smiled. Emo suddenly really disliked this martial brother Wu. There was clearly a sliver of jealousy in his eyes, but he acted really happy. He said his flying magic artifact was bad, but his was only a middle-grade flying immortal artifact. Martial brother Wu. Bingyu was surprised. She didn't expect this guy to still catch up when she left early. Emo wanted to laugh. This martial brother Wu stuck to Bingyu everywhere. Emo was thinking, what was anything good about this icy cold woman? Although she was the #1 prettiest woman in the immortal realm he had seen so far, she was too lacking in facial expression. Emo didn't talk, he couldn't be bothered. He was an immortal forgery master. When he reached immortal forgery great master, he could upgrade his flying magic artifact to middle grade at any time. Martial brother Wu was happy seeing Emo didn't answer him. Pill Master Yi will perhaps be our Extreme Sword Sect's member. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Hai Chuan Wu, the great disciple of Green Fall Peak. Martial sister Nianmei is a bright jewel of our sect. Congratulations. How could Emo not know what he meant? He thought he came out with Bingyu. Emo casually saluted with his fists. Haha. Seeing that Emo didn't seem to welcome him much, Hai Chuanwu thought that Emo was annoyed he stopped the private time between him and Bingyu, so he said again, Pill Master Ye's luck is really good, winning with a middle-grade immortal pill. Everyone in the sect is amazed at Pill Master Ye's luck. If I had Pill Master Ye's luck. Sigh. Emo didn't offend this guy, but because he liked Bingyu he berated him in front of her. Emo disliked this guy more and more. Comparatively, Gongsun Jiu was much better. He then said calmly, don't even think about my luck. You will never have it in your entire life. Didn't your master teach you? Luck is a type of power. Hai Chuanwu didn't expect Emo to be so straightforward. He frowned, but thinking about what Emo acted like at the competition, he immediately categorized Emo as vulgar. Bingyu was shook. She thought of her master's analysis. Was this Pill Master Yi really keeping a low profile? Was his luck really, as he said, a part of his power? Hai Chuanwu wasn't annoyed, however. He was happy. Emo was immature like the Chen Bais in the sect said. He was like a little kid. There was no way Bingyu would like such a person. Thinking about this, he said calmly, that's true, I rely on hard work. I don't have Pill Master Ye's luck power. He then said, where does Pill Master Yi want to go? If you need my help, just say it. No need, martial brother Wu, go where you please. I can solve my own things. Emo rejected without hesitation. He thought Emo was with Jin Bingyu. How could he agree to go? He quickly said, how can that do? Nianmei is the daughter of our sect leader, and you're the one she chose. I must help. After helping you, I'll leave with martial sister Bingyu. Emo frowned. He was going to Chaos Star Realm for trial. Why did this Hai Chuanwu pester him? I'm going to take a shit, martial brother Wu. Do you still want to help? Emo was annoyed. You... Hai Chuanwu's face went green. He didn't expect Emo would say such words in front of Bingyu. This was too insulting. Bingyu heard this and still had a calm face, but she didn't want to stay here anymore. She said to Hai Chuanwu, martial brother Wu, you guys talk. I'll be going. Then she flew off and sighed. He didn't deserve martial sister Nianmei. She even began to disregard her master's suspicions. At this moment, Hai Chuanwu realized that Emo wasn't with Bingyu. He glared at Emo and chased up. Only then did Yi Mo realize why Hai Chuanwu had to follow him. This kid thought Bingyu must be on the same journey with him. After they had disappeared, Yi Mo chose a direction and flew off. He was thinking about that terrifying Freedom King. If he was in front of such a person, his golden page world would be exposed for sure. It wouldn't be as simple as him dying. Everyone related to him would be killed. Everything inside the golden page world was invaluable. If it was revealed, how could that powerful being not kill everyone he knew to shut everyone up? An immortal king was already this terrifying. What about immortal monarchs and immortal emperors? If Lu Zhengxuan reached immortal king, how was he to survive? Yi Mo sighed. It wasn't bad that he met the Freedom King this time, at least he was alert now. He realized that if he didn't reach status immortal, he would still be an insect. He shouldn't try to come in contact with those powerful beings. Even coming to the extreme sword sect was dangerous. Qin Peifu and them had no ill will towards him, but if they did and tried to check him with their spirit sense, who knows what would happen. He was too arrogant, Yi Mo told himself. He had decided that he would stay at the Chaos Star realm and not come out unless he reached higher cultivation level. The immortal realm was very fascinating, but it wasn't a place a small golden immortal could have fun. Yi Mo sped up and felt even more desperate to go there. At the main peak of the extreme sword sect, Qin Yanmei acted like a little kid who did something wrong, looking down at the ground while a man stood in front of her. Who is that Yi Mo? How do you know him? Is he really your Dao partner? Qin Peifu asked with a sliver of seriousness in his tone. Dad, I've said it many times. Why don't you believe me? He's just like that. He's not disrespecting you. I've brought it up to him many times. Even though he doesn't change, I can't just give up on him, Qin Yanmei explained. Seeing her father's face ease, she quickly told him everything about how she met Yen Tantao. I was at a marketplace in Hailan Immortal City. He was setting up a pill stall. After a long while, Qin Yanmei finished and Qin Peifu nodded. That Yi Mo isn't very mature, but he's indeed a prodigy to be able to beat Gong Sun Yin's disciple. He's a level 3 immortal pill master now. He might accomplish far more in the future. So, Nianwei, you need to work hard yourself now. You need to quickly reach abstruse immortal and break through to great immortal. Dad? Qin Yanmei groaned. He just beat that Gong Sun Jiu by luck. If he tried again, he might lose. Oh, so you're saying Gong Sun Zihiu is better than him? Qin Peifu asked. No, I don't mean that. I mean, his future would definitely be stronger than Gong Sun Jiu's. Qin Yanmei waved her hand quickly. Qin Peifu suddenly said seriously, you need to find out who he is. Although it seemed very lucky, afterwards when I thought about it, he might have intentionally done that. That win was too lucky. If he did that on purpose, then this pill master Yi is too terrifying. You need to be careful in dealing with such a person. You need to know what he wants. Qin Yanmei wanted to laugh. Dad, don't worry. I know where this person came from and what he does. He definitely won by luck. Qin Yanmei suddenly felt things weren't right. She was talking about Yi Mo. He had nothing to do with her now. She should be caring about Yen Tantao. When she traveled with Yen Tantao, she never asked where he came from. Qin Peifei nodded. Indeed, it's not quite possible he did it on purpose. You took a space laceration rune. Did you give it to him to go to the Chaos Star realm? Yes, Qin Yanmei admitted. As though fearing her dad would tell her off, she added. He said he would go after reaching Golden Immortal Tertiary stage. Qin Peifu nodded. Not bad, he has perseverance and the will to fight. He's a pill master too. Nianmei, I feel like Yi Mo is a very good choice. His character is a bit lacking, but that isn't the most important. Far Star Castle. This was no castle nor immortal city nor town. This was just a huge square with countless stalls. The only thing was that one side was covered in mist and one spirit sense couldn't scan in. To be specific, it was a void. There were many cultivators talking at the border of the square or walking around the stalls. There was a huge teleportation formation in the middle. Cultivators were constantly teleported here or teleporting Y. Everyone knew this was the entry to the Chaos Star realm. This square was the nearest square to Chaos Star realm in Extreme Wind Heaven. The people here didn't go in immediately as they were grouping up. Each group would gather a certain amount of people before heading in. This way, even if they encountered a void hurricane or void beasts, they would be able to help each other. Another thing was that if they used their space laceration runes together, they would have a higher chance to open the space to the Chaos Star Realm. If one person came to the space barrier at the Chaos Star Realm, there wasn't a high probability of him tearing open the barrier to the Chaos Star Realm even with the rune. Some squads with enough people walked towards the mist under the captain and quickly disappeared. Some squads even put up signs requesting what sort of power and what sort of flying magic artifacts they had. Emo reached the teleportation formation at Gonghua Heaven in just 5 days, as his blue moon wasn't much slower than even middle-grade flying immortal artifacts. Emo immediately took the teleportation formation to Far Star Castle. Walking out of the teleportation formation, Emo felt a little dizzy. This teleportation distance was extremely far, even he felt dizzy. He wouldn't even be able to make even one formation flag for such a teleportation formation. Why is he here? Does this guy want to go the Chaos Star Realm too? Hai Chuanwu immediately noticed Emo. They didn't have enough people yet. Zhen Bingyu also looked at Emo in confusion. She didn't understand why Emo came here too. Didn't he have something important to do? Was it to come here? Emo was a mere golden immortal primary stage. It was suicide to come here. Emo scanned the square with spirit sense, and the words Far Star Castle floated in the middle. There were many cultivators here, but Emo soon found he was the weakest. Those immortals with stalls were at least golden immortal tertiary stage. Most of the cultivators in the square were abstruse immortals. There was not a single golden immortal middle stage, much less a primary stage cultivator. So he was the weakest here. Emo rubbed his nose speechlessly. His spirit sense saw Bingyu and Hai Chuanwu too. But he didn't want to go over and talk. He had nothing to do with their sect now. Emo walked up to a golden immortal peak stage cultivator and saluted with his fists. Friend, is this the place towards the Chaos Star Realm? The golden immortal peak stage looked at Emo and nodded. That's right, this is Far Star Castle. You leave from here to go to the Chaos Star Realm. How do you go in? Emo asked. The golden immortal peak stage didn't mind. Many cultivators came here for the first time. The only thing was that this cultivator's power was too low. He pointed at the misty side. Go from there, fly for half a month to a month, and you can see the barrier to the Chaos Star Realm. Use your space laceration rune with people and you can go in. Thank you, friend. Emo thanked him and immediately headed to the misty side. The golden immortal was dumbfounded and murmured. He won't be going there alone, right? Zhen Bingyu already felt it was strange that Emo came here at golden immortal primary stage, but seeing him about to go in alone after asking a few questions, her jaw dropped. She really didn't expect there to be someone this cocky. Even abstruse immortal peak stage or great immortals rarely went in alone. Did this guy come here to seek death? The nearby immortals were also dazed. But soon most of them realized that this new golden immortal primary stage didn't know the rules. He thought he could go in alone. What an idiot! But no one reminded Emo. It was a good show for them. People were too bored. A golden immortal primary stage cultivator's life meant nothing to them. Emo felt something was wrong, but he couldn't tell where. He didn't feel that golden immortal cultivator was lying to him, and his instinct felt that he would reach the Chaos Star Realm if he went any more forward. Just when he was about to go in, a faint blue figure stopped in front of him. You want to die? A crisp, cold voice sounded again. Emo looked, and it was that Bingyu again. This was the second time she said, You want to die? But this time, Emo didn't get angry. She had saved him before indeed. Martial sister Bingyu, I'm living quite well. Why would I want to die? Emo asked plainly. Zhen Bingyu grunted. You think all the people here aren't going to the Chaos Star Realm? Why don't they leave? Why? Emo subconsciously asked. Zhen Bingyu said coldly. It's indeed the heaven domain void if you go in there. Unless you're a great immortal, going in alone is like suicide. And the barrier for the Chaos Star Realm can only be activated when tens or even 100 people use their runes together. Emo looked around at the cultivators here and realized how bleak they were. They were all watching him like a fool. No one came up to warn him. Thank you, Marshall's sister Bingyu, you saved me again. Emo didn't believe he would die going into the heaven domain void. But if he didn't go with anyone, his space laceration rune would be useless. Zhen Bingyu didn't look at Emo and just went back to where she was. Emo saw a skinny golden immortal tertiary stage cultivator just turn around too. He immediately politely called out to him. Friend, you came to stop me going in, right? The skinny cultivator nodded. Yais, you can't go in there alone. You have to team up. I just wanted to stop you, but someone already did. Thank you. I'm Emo, a solo cultivator. Emo saluted with his fists. The skinny cultivator returned in the same manner. I'm Cui Mingli. I come from you, one heaven's great extreme immortal sect, Dao Star Sect. I found a team already. You should hurry and find one. Seeing him go back, Emo breathed easy. This Cui Mingli clearly was a warm-hearted cultivator. There were so many cultivators who saw him about to go in alone, but only Bingyu and this guy stopped him. But Emo knew why Bingyu stopped him. It was due to Qin Yanmei. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't come out, but even so, Emo was grateful to her. Even though Emo didn't want to form a team, he had to find one. Otherwise, no one would take him in with his power. Emo scanned around and was disappointed. He didn't match the requirements. The lowest requirement was Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage and have at least a low-grade Flying Immortal artifact. He had one, but he was a far cry from Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage. An ordinary Golden Immortal Primary Stage would take at least a few thousand years to reach Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage. Some talented cultivators would only need a few hundred years. Extreme examples could do this in a few decades. Emo could only walk towards a sign asking for Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage. It was a Golden Immortal Peak Stage cultivator. He saw Emo come over and frowned. Can I join your team? Emo saw the frown and sighed but still asked. The Golden Immortal Peak Stage was very polite. Sorry, the lowest requirement is Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage. You're only Golden Immortal Primary Stage. I believe I won't drag the team behind, Emo said. The Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage shook his head and said nothing. Emo asked a few more and he was rejected by them all. No one wanted to take a Golden Immortal Primary Stage who would drag the team down. Some squads had enough people and began to go in. Hai Chuanwu saw Bingyu stare at Emo and asked, How about we let Pill Master Yi come to our squad? Bingyu asked coldly. Did he ask for your help? Hai Chuanwu felt uncomfortable seeing Bingyu stop Emo. But hearing this, he felt very satisfied. But he still sighed and said nothing. Bingyu indeed didn't want Emo to join her squad. To her, Emo would die no matter what squad he joined. It was better for him to not let him join a squad as he would go back and not die. Seeing that he still had to go in alone, Emo shook his head helplessly. Cui Mingli saw Emo couldn't find a team and worried for him too. Marshall Brother Chan, that Golden Immortal Primary Stage. Cui Mingli didn't even finish before he was interrupted by the abstruse Immortal Primary Stage captain. Cui Mingli, I took you because your perseverance is good, yet you still want to help someone else? If you still want to say that, then please leave. Cui Mingli's mouth was bitter, but he didn't dare to say anything. Emo didn't hear Cui Mingli trying to help him. But seeing the captain reproach him, he immediately knew what happened. Emo felt a little despondent seeing that no team willing to take him. Some cultivators admired Emo's courage. Daring to go into the Chaos Star realm alone and thinking that he could join a team with Golden Immortal Primary Stage cultivation. If the captain wasn't brain dead, he wouldn't allow such a person. There were so many dangers out there, and if one person dragged the team back, it would be a ticking time bomb. As more and more teams left, Emo knew it was probably very hard to find someone to take him. At this moment, the teleportation formation lit up again and a few thousand people were teleported back. Emo was confused why so many cultivators came when he heard other people discuss. This is the Extreme Heaven sect joining up to trial together. I didn't think there would be this many. Less than 3,000 for a heaven domain, this isn't much. True, it's said that the reward for the top 10 is very juicy. Emo scanned with spirit sense and found that the leading person was indeed a Great Eternity Immortal and a few Great Extreme Immortals. The Great Eternity Immortal said to the few thousand cultivators, "The time frame for this trial is 2 years. 2 years later, we will be calculating results here. The Chaos Star realm is full of danger. I hope you guys can help each other. Okay. I've said enough. Time for you to form teams and go in. Soon, the cultivators formed into small groups and went in. Zhan Bingyu glanced at Emo and followed her squad into the Heaven Domain Void. In a short time, there were only a few cultivators waiting to form a team, and there were the stall cultivators. These cultivators waiting were all higher cultivation level than Emo, so Emo clearly couldn't team up with him. Seeing Emo frown, a stall keeping Golden Immortal sighed. Friend, your power is currently too low. Even if someone takes you on a team, it might not be good for you to go in. Emo saluted with his fists to that cultivator. Thank you. Then, he walked into the mist without hesitation. Everyone was dazed. They didn't expect this ordinary Golden Immortal primary stage was this persistent. No one took him on a team, so he was going in alone. He already knew the danger, and yet he was still going in. Did he not fear death? There were many cultivators who didn't fear death in the immortal realm, but there wasn't a cultivator who knew certain death and still went its way. Those few great immortals were shook too. When they learned of the situation, they all shook their heads. Pity? One great extreme immortal looked at Emo's figure disappearing into the mist. He has a heart of cultivation that dares to compete, but not a calm brain. Even if he doesn't die in there, he will die somewhere else. Nothing to feel pity about. That great eternity immortal shook his head. If it was before he saw the Freedom King, Emo might hesitate, but now he knew that if he couldn't improve his power rapidly, he was meat on the chopping block that anyone could cut. He didn't even have the right to form a squad with people here. Emo looked calm, but he wasn't on the inside. He needed power. He was going to tell everyone that he, Emo, could still go in the Chaos Star realm even if he didn't have a team. Plus, if he was scared of everything and didn't dare to fight for it, how could he be an immortal? After going into the mist, the Far Star Castle immediately disappeared. Even his spirit sense couldn't see it. He was in a dull gray void. There were asteroid lights that colored the sky a little. Emo released Blue Moon and carefully charged into the void. He was very careful but not scared. He had been to the Void Fissure alone, ran amongst Void Wind Blades, took a shower in Void Flame, and practiced body refinement in Void Sand Whirlpools. Even though the void here was countless times stronger than the Cultivation Realm's void, his power was also countless times stronger. Half a day later, Emo saw no danger. There were just an occasional few void wind blades and a few meteors, but they didn't harm him at all. Emo wasn't scared of these, he was scared of void disposition the most. It would be certain death for him. Emo believed there was no void disposition. As if there was, there wouldn't be so many void immortal beasts here. 2 days later, Emo didn't loosen up at all. He just dodged tens of meteors today and saw countless flashing red lights. Those red lights could blink and a foul stench came over. Emo knew these were the void immortal beasts. There were countless blinking red lights. They were probably the 3-footed wolves. They lived in the void in large groups. They could cultivate in the void and loved eating cultivator flesh. They would be able to find cultivators who went into the void quickly and surround them. Just when Emo thought of this, countless 3-footed wolves surrounded him. His spirit sense couldn't extend very far here, but he could sense up to a few hundred kilometers away. They were everywhere. Other than a few that were at level 1, most were level 2 and a few were level 3. Seeing this, Emo breathed easy. At least there were no level 4 wolves. If there were, he would have to run. Level 4 was equivalent to great immortal power. Fighting against a great immortal wolf with his little golden immortal power was suicide. Even though their offensive power was weak and they only knew a type of wind blade, once it was a high enough level, wind blades could be lethal too. Howl! Countless wolves howled. Emo released Zisu. He wasn't afraid of group battles. His lightning sword, Illusion Cloud Domain Kill Strike, and Heaven Flame 9 Suns were abilities of mass slaughter. He even annihilated the few 100 million sand soul beasts. There were only tens of thousands of wolves here. Seeing Emo released Zisu, the wolves rustled and attacked at the same time. The circle closed in. Emo didn't dare to use Heaven Flame 9 Suns. It was too taxing on his spirit sense and too much of a waste to use it on wolves. Heaven Flame 9 Suns was best for those spirit bugs or those immortal beasts that feared fire. Of course, when his Heaven Flame 9 Suns reached great completion, he could use it against any immortal beast. Zisu was released, bringing out a faint purple sword ray. The sword ray was pale, but in this dull gray void, it immediately lit up the countless wolves. Those wolves seemed extra snarly under the purple beams. In order to maximize his illusion cloud domain kill strike, he didn't even release his octagonal cauldron. The purple sword chi divided into tens of 100 meters wide, few 100-meter long sword veils and sliced out. Blood and flesh flew everywhere. Level 2 and Level 1 wolves weren't able to survive under Yi Mo's sword domain at all. Just that strike and Yi Mo killed 200 wolves. But Yi Mo's heart sunk. He found that it was only effective against Level 1 and Level 2 wolves. The Level 3 wolves at most received a wound. But luckily, there were only tens of them. Before Yi Mo could release Zisu again, the countless wind blades tore his barrier and sword domain and struck on his body. Blurch. As soon as they touched Yi Mo, they drew blood. The Level 1 wind blades didn't affect Yi Mo at all. The Level 2 wind blades only could create some marks, but the Level 3 wind blades made a few bloody marks and a spray of blood. Yi Mo knew he couldn't defend now at all. Defending was only stalling. The longer it stalled, the worse it was for him. Who knew if there would be more to come? If he kept defending, he would eventually die. He could hide in his golden page world, but the Level 3 wolves were conscious, and if they spilled this news, it would spell huge trouble. Realizing this, Yi Mo used his God State body refinement to the fullest extent and hacked out with Illusion Cloud Domain Kill Strike again and again. In a short time, the surroundings were filled by Yi Mo's Illusion Cloud Domain Kill strikes. There were purple whirlpools in the void space. Wolves were killed non-stop, but Yi Mo's wounds slowly started to pile up. Yi Mo kept eating pills and releasing the Illusion Cloud Domain Kill Strike. He was a bloodied man right now. Some of the blood was his, some belonged to the wolves. If he didn't have pills, he would have long collapsed already. As he killed more and more Level 3 wolves, Yi Mo knew that the scale of victory was leaning towards him. Crazy cultivator void wolves were definitely a type of extremely crazy void immortal beast, but in this even crazier fighting style Yi Mo was using, they began to go into chaos. As more and more wolves died, their bodies piled up in the void. Some were taken away by the void chaos flow immediately. A few more Level 3 wolves were killed by Yi Mo, and he started to take less and less wind blades. The head wolf at the back felt things weren't right. If things went on like this, these wolves would all die. Just when the head wolf was contemplating whether they should retreat or launch one more ferocious attack, an explosion sounded in the void. In a short time, tens of lightning swords rained down. These lightning swords all struck the Level 2 wolves and another group died. The reason Yi Mo only used it now was because he was scared if he used it too early, his spirit sense and immortal essence would run out. Now that the wolf pack was disordered, they clearly weren't going to last long. Now was the perfect time to use it. Howl! The wolves finally realized Yi Mo's power. With the howl of the head wolf, the remaining 20,000 wolves rapidly retreated into the void. Yi Mo breathed easy. If these wolves still didn't retreat, he would be in a worse condition even if he won in the end. He would have to go into the golden page world to recover. But Yi Mo didn't want to go in. His spirit sense couldn't scan far here. Who knew if there was some powerful being who could see him? This possibility was very small, but he had to be careful. After eating a few pills, Yi Mo started to take the immortal beast cores of the wolves. After that fight, he killed tens of thousands of wolves. He didn't care about those Level 1 wolves, but he took nearly 10,000 Level 2 and Level 3 immortal beast cores. More bodies were taken away by the void. After an entire day of fighting, his entire body was covered in wounds. But Yi Mo wasn't worried. He knew that his shape looked bad, but the real wounds were those left by the Level 3 wolves. The wounds left by the Level 2 wolves were very shallow and begun to heal with the immortal pills. The Level 3 wolves' offensive power was far weaker than ordinary Level 3 immortal beasts. Otherwise, he would be in a much more serious condition. The void was indeed full of danger. Yi Mo realized now why these people formed teams. If there was a team of a few hundred people, they wouldn't fear this wolf pack at all. He was by himself, so he was considered food to those wolves. The only reason he could beat so many wolves was because he was God state middle stage body refinement. Otherwise, what could he do but hide in the golden page world? Emo put Zissou on his back and not in his storage ring. There was too much danger here. With the experience of fighting those wolves, Emo made Blue Moon fly even faster. 3 days later, he encountered an asteroid group. These asteroids came at him like the wolf pack, sealing all directions of escape. This time, Emo released the octagonal cauldron. Although he was heavily injured by the asteroid collisions, he still made it through. He encountered a few void sword rays, but they weren't very powerful and just gave Emo a few more wounds. After this series of void danger, Emo realized the importance of body refinement even more. If he wasn't God state body refinement, he would be dead already. Half a month later, Emo emerged from a void formation covered in wounds. This void formation enclosed an asteroid that was tens of thousands of square kilometers and nailed it to the void. Some light seeped out of the formation. Outside the formation, there were the golden words, Chaos Star Realm Asteroid Door. There was a wave-like barrier. Emo guessed it was the barrier to entering the Chaos Star Realm. Emo breathed easy. For the last half-month, he had been fighting with his life every day in the void, but it wasn't without its benefits. His immortal essence and spirit sense were trained, and so was his body. He was just one step away from God State Tertiary Stage. Emo walked into the void formation and landed on the huge asteroid. He found there were more than 1,000 cultivators here. Some were resting and more took out their runes ready to go in. A few extreme ones came here to do business. This was both the entrance and the exit. These cultivators who came here risked a lot of danger, but their profits were huge. Many cultivators who come out would try to sell the extra things they had immediately. Emo's arrival caught the attention of almost all the cultivators here. These cultivators all came in groups. No cultivator below Great Immortal could come here alone. Even Great Immortals usually didn't want to cross here alone. Immortal beast packs, asteroids groups, wind blade waves, these all needed many people to stop. Yet these cultivators saw Emo come here alone. Almost all cultivators were completely dazed. They didn't dare to believe what they saw. No one took Emo on a team. Many people knew this, but they didn't expect this golden immortal primary stage really dared to come. Emo was covered in wounds and blood. His ordinary low-grade immortal artifact hung across his back. He didn't look like an immortal, he looked like a mortal martial artist. Despite his blood and messy hair, the sharp, ferocious chi that emanated from him was like a sharp sword that was pulled out of its sheath. Was he really this powerful? Or was he just too lucky? Some cultivators started to think. Some of them were injured, but none were injured like Emo or had such dense killing chi. Emo scanned his spirit sense out. He didn't see Chui Mingli and immediately knew he probably went inside the Chaos Star Realm. There were cultivators who died, but they were usually less than 10%. Emo didn't believe that Chui Mingli was that unlucky. He saw a few cultivators doing business and so he walked over. Thud thud. Emo's footsteps weren't heavy, but it felt like he stepped on the hearts of these cultivators. Those few captains who rejected Emo looked at him in shock. They believed that Emo was no match for them, but hearing his footsteps made them feel suffocated. He was probably lucky and only met a few level 1 or level 2 immortal beasts. Otherwise, would he be able to get here? Zhen Bingyu hadn't gone in yet. Just when she was about to go in, Emo came here in such a shocking manner. She had seen too many crazy cultivators, but today she realized that compared to Emo, those people were at most fighting with their lives. Emo was giving his life away, but he crossed the void and didn't die. This Pill Master Yi is really lucky and bold. But if something happens to him, Martial Sister Nianmei will... sigh. Hai Chuanwu saw Zhen Bingyu look at Emo with shock and said, "MHM." Zhen Bingyu just subconsciously nodded. She was still thinking about how Emo came here. She didn't feel Emo hid his power. Seeing Zhen Bingyu still stare at Emo, Hai Chuanwu felt bored and took out the rune. "Martial Sister Bingyu, should we go in now?" She even forgot to answer, but she clearly heard Emo ask for the price of an immortal beast core. The golden immortal even got up and saluted with his fists to Emo. A level 1 Immortal Beast core is around 30 to 80 top-grade Immortal crystals. Level 2 are around 100 to 300, level 3 about 1,000 to 2,000 Immortal crystals. So expensive? EMO was dazed. Those level 1 Immortal Beast cores were wasted. EMO felt pity. He didn't take them because he thought they weren't worth any money. In the Blackweed town, a level 1 Immortal Beast core was at most a few top-grade Immortal crystals. Why was the price here so high? It's not. The Immortal Beasts here are void Immortal Beasts. Their beast cores contain a sliver of void chi. If you concoct pills with such beast cores, the level of the immortal pills will be higher and it's beneficial in helping cultivators cultivate space magic. So this was it. Emo nodded. He took out for 3 feet wolf beast cores and asked, "How much for these?" He thought that EMO would take out tens of immortal beast cores, seeing that he was covered in wounds, but EMO only took out 4. He felt disappointed, but he still said politely, "These are the beast cores of the very common 3 feet immortal wolves. I'll give you 130 top-grade immortal crystals for these 3 level 2 ones. As for this level 3 one, I'll give you 1,100 top-grade immortal crystals. What do you think?" "Okay." Then Emo waved his hand and a stack of beast cores appeared before this cultivator. "Count and calculate." Those cultivators saw Emo only take out 4 wolf beast cores, and more than half of the shock in their eyes disappeared. It seemed that this golden immortal primary stage was only lucky. But no one scorned him. A golden immortal primary stage could kill 3 level 2 and 1 level 3 beasts. It was normal that he was heavily injured. Even Zhen Bingyu breathed easy. She finally realized why Emo could come here. It was luck. Any golden immortal primary stage who only encountered these would be able to get away. But when Emo stacked up such a large pile of 3 feet wolf beast cores, these thousands of cultivators took a cold breath in and looked at Emo in disbelief. No one would believe that Emo killed all these by himself. Even a team wouldn't be able to do that. The wolves' attacks were weak and simplistic, but there were so many of them. There were nearly 10,000 beast cores here, and most of them were level 2, some even level 3. Could one person kill all these? Even an abstruse immortal wouldn't be able to kill so many and get this many beast cores. But if he didn't do it, who did? The wolves liked to live in packs. They couldn't think that the wolves all spasmed upon seeing Emo, or that someone was nice enough to leave all these beast cores for this golden immortal primary stage. "I finally understand why he said, 'What a waste!'" one cultivator exclaimed. "Why?" He threw away all the level 1 beast cores, and now that he realized the price was this high, he felt it was a waste. People took in cold breaths. There were so many level 2 beast cores, just how many level 1 beast cores did he throw away? If he was there at the time, he would be rich. Seeing the business cultivator still dazed, Emo frowned and asked, "Do you want them or not? If you do, hurry up and count. If not, I'll find someone else." "Yes, yes," the cultivator quickly said. The cultivator quickly finished and said respectfully, "There are 8,030 level 2 beast cores and 13 level 3 beast cores. This is 1,058,200 top-grade immortal crystals." Facing an immortal who could kill tens of thousands of wolves, he didn't dare to show any disrespect. This many immortal crystals? The cultivators took a cold breath in. This guy just went for a spin in the void and got so many immortal crystals. If there was so much to earn, why even go to the Chaos Star realm? Emo took the 1,000,000 immortal crystals and was very satisfied. It seemed cultivation was about going around and finding cultivation resources. Only then would he have more fortune. The cultivators around here fell silent. Even an idiot could tell that Emo killed all those wolves. "I didn't expect him to be this strong. Such crowd-attacking power. He's even stronger than her." Zhen Bingyu took in a cold breath. But she knew Emo didn't hide his power, or the great immortals at Extreme Sword Sect would know. To be able to kill so many, it meant that he either had a secret technique or a powerful rune. She doubted that Emo killed them with his own power. This was just too unbelievable. After all, Emo was only golden immortal primary stage. It was possible if he used other means. In the immortal realm, there were many powerful runes, but they were just very hard to get. If it was a rune made by an immortal emperor, then 10 times more of the wolves would still be nothing. Emo didn't go with other people to put the rune into the void immediately. He just closed his eyes, ate a few pills, and started to rest. He had been fighting non-stop in the void, and this asteroid door was for cultivators to rest. At this moment, no cultivators dared to disturb Emo. Even those few abstruse immortal cultivators who suspected Emo had some secret didn't come up to say anything. 15 minutes later, Emo suddenly got up. His immortal essence and spirit sense had pretty much recovered. He saw that many cultivators on here had gone and immediately took out his space laceration rune. A golden immortal peak stage standing at the entrance saw Emo and immediately asked, "Friend, come into the Chaos Star realm with us?" Emo nodded and stood with this group of cultivators. Zhen Bingyu sighed. This guy couldn't even find a team before, but now there were people inviting him. The leader of this group was an abstruse immortal primary stage. He saw Emo come over and nodded to him. When I say 1, everyone release their runes at the same time and open the barrier. 3, 2, 1. 300 or so cultivators released their runes at the same time. Emo did so as well. It seemed there was nothing special about Emo, but those few abstruse immortal cultivators changed their faces. They were certain now that Emo killed all those void wolves by himself. Emo released his rune rapidly, and the tear range was larger than multiple cultivators around him combined. These abstruse immortal didn't know that Emo only used half his immortal essence and spirit sense. He didn't want to show off too much. Yet even with this, his range was much greater than a few golden immortal cultivators combined. Emo immediately realized what happened. His battles in the void condensed his immortal essence, and that Qin Peifu's power was great. His rune was more powerful than the other runes. Scourge, like a ripped cloth, the barrier opened a dark void fissure under the explosion of hundreds of runes. "Go in," the abstruse immortal said and crossed over. The rest of the cultivators followed. When Zhen Bingyu wanted to see Emo was already gone. She found in shock that she didn't even see when Emo went in. "Martial Sister Bingyu, let's go in together," Hai Chuanwu said. "Okay." Bingyu nodded. She was done resting. A cool sensation came. This was Emo's first impression here. He scanned around with his spirit sense. It still couldn't reach max range, but it was much better than in the void. Everything within 1,000 kilometers was encompassed within his spirit sense. There didn't seem to be any life nor danger around him. It was just chaos. A few distant stars decorated the sky, giving this place some life. "Everyone, I'll be leaving first." The golden immortal peak stage saluted with his fists to everyone and flew off. The rest of the cultivators started to disperse. Just when Emo was planning to leave, there was a terrifying howl, and the cultivators who hadn't left stared at the direction in shock. A golden immortal tertiary stage was ripped into bloody mist and fell over. Emo looked dazedly at the place the cultivator died. His spirit sense didn't see anything. There were no void openings nor space wind blades. How could a cultivator die for no reason and in such a bloody manner? Shadowless vulture. One abstruse immortal called out in terror. "What is shadowless vulture?" one golden immortal tertiary stage asked. The abstruse immortal said seriously, "Shadowless vulture is human-faced and vulture-bodied. It can fly in the void and is best at hiding its power. Below great immortal, no one can find shadowless vulture with his spirit sense. If a lone cultivator falls into the eyes of the shadowless vulture, it can only await death because it will follow you until it kills you. They love devouring cultivator essence spirit. That cultivator's essence spirit was devoured by shadowless vulture. It's one of the most terrifying beings in the Chaos Star realm. It's also called the Star Realm Killer. Those cultivators who didn't know about it looked at each other. They just came in and encountered something this powerful. How were they to survive? Shadowless vulture. Emo had seen this name many times. Feng Chunma's jade slip mentioned it. It was just as this abstruse immortal cultivator said. But Feng Chunma's brother said it was only in the depth of the star realm. Why was it here? I heard a Qian Bei say it's only in the depths of the realm. Why did we see it as soon as we came in? That abstruse immortal primary stage asked heavily. What do we do? One golden immortal peak stage asked worriedly. We can only form teams and try not to be picked off. We can't fly here, stick to the ground. The shadowless vulture loves ambushing flying cultivators. They feel that they're the overlord of the skies. Any flying cultivator will be considered to be challenging their authority. One cultivator answered. Then the cultivator looked at Emo. Before, no one wanted to take Emo on a team, but now they guessed Emo's power was very powerful. If Emo could go on a team with them, it would be great. Seeing that cultivator look at him, of course Emo knew what he meant. But he didn't want to form a team, and even if he did, he wouldn't form a team with someone he didn't know. Emo didn't answer. His spirit sense scanned to the void where the cultivator died. There was nothing there, but suddenly Emo used his spirit sense blade. Then, there was a faint shadow shrieking as it flew into the sky. So it feared spirit sense blades. Zisu brought out a purple light. Splurge, just like that dying cultivator. A blood arrow shot out and the shadow in the sky landed on the ground. A human-faced vulture with huge wings fell to the ground. This bird was 3 meters long. Some cultivators who hadn't left saw Emo could kill the shadowless vulture and were even more shook. Now, no one doubted him about the wolves. The shadowless vultures had dominated the Chaos Star realm, and no one had been able to kill them. Few had even seen what they look like. Yet, this golden immortal primary stage killed one with one strike. Friend, you're good. You can even kill the shadowless vulture. Wong admires your power. That abstruse immortal treated Emo as someone equal to him now. Those few golden immortal tertiary stages looked at Emo with some reverence. One golden immortal tertiary stage said to Emo with admiration, "Martial brother, the shadowless vulture's beast core is the most valuable. The main feathers of its 2 wings are extreme-grade forgery materials best for flying magic artifacts." Thank you. Emo really didn't know what parts of it were worth money. Emo took the beast core and the 2 main feathers and told that golden immortal cultivator, "The rest is yours." Thank you, Chen Bei. There was surprise and joy in the golden immortal tertiary stage's eyes, and he quickly charged up, taking the entire body. To him, only a Chen Bei wouldn't take such things. "I'm going." Then Emo quickly disappeared into the star realm. So powerful! That abstruse immortal looked at Emo's figure and approved. That golden immortal peak stage next to him nodded. Indeed, I rarely hear people can kill a shadowless vulture in here, but a golden immortal primary stage could do it. It's too amazing. The abstruse immortal shook his head. I think he's not necessarily golden immortal primary stage. Can a cultivator who can force a shadowless vulture out of stealth and kill it be golden immortal primary stage? Emo put Zisu on his back. He didn't go on Blue Moon or Zisu. Before understanding how the shadowless vulture ambushed, he really didn't dare to fly. A day later, Emo didn't find any valuable trial grounds nor any valuable immortal spirit herbs. He didn't even see a shadowless vulture again. This place was like that world where he ascended from. Emo didn't keep searching. He dug a cultivation home and went in, using the time formation disk to cultivate for a few days before coming out. He thought there was danger everywhere, but now it didn't seem so. 3 days later, Emo felt the immortal spirit chi here was getting denser and denser. At this moment, Emo realized that in order to undergo the trial, one had to go to the depths. On the 4th day, Emo stopped outside a huge valley. He felt the suction of this valley as though he was going to be sucked in and torn to pieces. Star Realm Whirlwind? Emo murmured. This was one of the most dangerous places in the outskirts of the Star Realm. Ordinary cultivators who got sucked in would be twisted into pieces by the power of the whirlpool. This power was irresistible. It would gradually shed the cultivator layer by layer until bones were left. Even so, the bones would even be turned into fine dust. The strange thing about it was that no matter where you stood, it would take your flesh layer by layer. It wouldn't take your entire body suddenly, but you wouldn't be able to move at all. The force here wasn't something that cultivators below Great Immortal could resist. Emo didn't retreat because of this. He had chosen a few places for body refinement, and this was one of them. He put away Zisu and used God State body refinement to the max, slowly walking into the valley. Emo couldn't scan his spirit sense into the wind. It couldn't even reach out 3 meters. 10 steps later, The powerful suction ripped away Yimo's armor. After a few more steps, that terrifying lacerating power came. He couldn't move at all now. He could only sit here and let the wind tear at his body. The force swiped from the surface of his body. He used his 3-birth chant to calculate the next steps of the body refinement cultivation method. Yimo approximately knew the immortal realm body refinement cultivation method. In the immortal realm, when cultivators reached great immortal, their body was equal to God's state, but the tenacity and recovery was far from God's state body refinement. If a cultivator reached God's state peak stage and continued in body refinement, the body wouldn't be able to take it. At this moment, the body refinement cultivator would face his greatest test. That was nirvana. Only after nirvana would the body go under fundamental evolution and become an immortal nirvana body. So, nirvana was extremely important for body refinement cultivators. Many body refinement cultivators failed nirvana and forever regretted it their entire lives. After nirvana failure, a light consequence would be that they couldn't practice body refinement anymore and could only focus on Tao cultivation. The serious consequences would be that one would only have an essence spirit left. Even with an immortal essence spirit, they would have to find rare treasures to rebuild their body. After that, it was pretty much impossible for body refinement again. If nirvana was successful, the cultivator's body refinement would reach immortal nirvana body. But immortal nirvana body was only an intermediate state. This process was divided into 4 states: primary stage, middle stage, tertiary stage, and peak stage. Once an immortal nirvana body reached peak stage, the body refinement cultivator would officially reach immortal spirit body. This was the greatest hope for immortal realm body refinement cultivators and the greatest they could achieve. An immortal spirit body was also divided into 4 stages. Although for most immortal realm cultivators, immortal spirit body was pretty much the extreme, it wasn't the highest state of body refinement. After immortal spirit body peak stage, one could reach immortal god body, but rarely could cultivators in the immortal realm reach this. Even so, immortal god body wasn't the peak of immortal realm body refinement. After immortal god body peak stage, the body refinement cultivator would reach a peak, and that was divine body. Since the ancient times, it was said that only one cultivator had been able to reach divine body. Yimo didn't plan to reach nirvana now. He just planned to reach God's state peak stage and find another place to achieve nirvana. Nirvana not only needed dense immortal spirit chi, but it was also best if there were top-grade immortal spirit herbs. In this whirlwind, even Yimo's body felt pain. Slashes on his body appeared, but Yimo didn't move and kept using the 3-birth chant for body refinement while completing his body refinement cultivation method. 2 months later, Yimo's bones cracked and he suddenly got up. He knew he had reached God's state tertiary stage. Now, Yimo felt that the tearing of the whirlpool was much weaker to him. He went a few thousand meters deeper into the whirlpool and continued body refinement. His immortal nirvana body cultivation method was completed and he even reached immortal spirit body primary stage. He just needed to reach God's state peak stage and leave. Although he could reach nirvana in the depths of the wind whirlpool, this wasn't the best place nor the best time for nirvana. Plus, without top-grade immortal spirit herbs for nirvana, it wouldn't be good even if he didn't fail. 2 months later, Yimo walked out of the star realm wind whirlpool with a ferocious temperament. He had reached God's state peak stage now. He had been in here for a few months and still hadn't found a place for cultivating spirit sense and immortal essence. Body refinement, like cultivation, got progressively harder, even many times harder than ordinary cultivation. Yimo released Blue Moon and started flying slowly. He didn't dare to go very fast, fearing there would be shadowless vultures. Yimo didn't go very fast to begin with, but the deeper he went the faster he went. He formed a spirit sense domain around him. Yimo thought that since spirit sense blades could reveal shadowless vultures, his spirit sense domain could prevent their ambush. It was far from reaching completion like his sword domain, but it could still allow him to sense things. Just when he was thinking about if this would be useful to shadowless vultures, there was a ripple in his spirit sense domain. Yimo shot out multiple spirit sense blades without hesitation. 2 faint shadows appeared before him. Yimo instantly hacked out with Zisu. Purple rays flashed and one shadowless vulture was instantly torn apart. The other flew away rapidly. EMO took the body and chased towards the other one instead. EMO was going to kill those who tried to kill him, be it cultivators or immortal beasts, no matter what. If he didn't have a spirit sense domain, he would have been ambushed already. Even though he was God State peak stage and didn't fear the ambush, who knows what would happen. He also heard that they were very vengeful and wouldn't let a cultivator go, no matter what. If he let this one go, it would follow him everyone in the darkness. So EMO brought Blue Moon's speed almost to the max, and in half a minute, he felt that shadowless vulture in his spirit sense domain again. But it was indeed very fast. Even though he brought Blue Moon's speed to the max, he still couldn't catch up to it, but he felt distance was closing. The shadowless vultures had never expected that they would one day be hunted by cultivators. It had always been them who hunted cultivators. Many golden immortals and abstruse immortals saw EMO hunting that shadowless vulture like crazy and were astonished. These cultivators couldn't see the shadowless vulture, but they could see EMO accelerating like crazy. In a place like the Chaos Star Realm, he dared to go so fast on a flying magic artifact. Did he not want to live? If people could fly in the sky, there wouldn't be all these cultivators walking on the ground. Near a pond, an icy cold female cultivator was holding off against two abstruse immortal cultivators. EMO chased past here and the three saw EMO at the same time. They didn't know why EMO was flying in the air so fast and all showed expressions of shock. EMO saw the three too. He knew one of them, that female cultivator, was Bingyu. The two standing off against her were both abstruse immortals too. One of them was the one who introduced the shadowless vulture when he first entered here. The three seemed to be about to fight. EMO didn't have the mood to care about it. He was determined to kill that shadowless vulture. "Kill Master Yi?" Bingyu called out in shock, but EMO was long gone. Seeing that EMO didn't even stop, Bingyu frowned. Was EMO not afraid of death? Did he not know about the shadowless vulture? That shadowless vulture probably knew he couldn't escape this crazy cultivator, and suddenly turned around instead, charging at EMO with rapid speed. EMO sighed. This was completely illogical. It was flying like lightning ahead and then suddenly turned 180 degrees without any pause or decrease in speed. Some ordinary cultivator might have fallen for this, but EMO was ready. He released Zisu and the shadowless vulture charged into his sword chi. A sharp howl swooshed across the void and that shadowless vulture was hacked in half. After taking its beast core and main feathers, EMO returned the way he came from. He would help Bingyu if he could. After all, this woman saved him twice. Before he even got back, the three people had begun fighting. It was those two abstruse immortals attacking Bingyu. Seeing EMO fly back, the three subconsciously stopped. EMO approved of this Bingyu. She wasn't bad. "Friend, long time no see." Seeing EMO land, that abstruse immortal who came with EMO here saluted with his fists. Zhun Bingyu's face was cold and didn't say anything, but that abstruse immortal primary stage who didn't know EMO looked at his partner in confusion, not understanding why an abstruse immortal would greet a golden immortal primary stage. EMO smiled and saluted with his fists. "Indeed, long time no see. I saw you were going very fast. You seem to be chasing something?" That abstruse immortal primary stage asked in confusion. EMO knew there were shadowless vultures. Why did he still go so fast? "I was ambushed by that thing and it annoyed me, so I chased up and killed it," EMO said. How could this abstruse immortal not know that the thing was the shadowless vulture? Hearing this, that abstruse immortal cultivator was extremely shook. EMO killed a lurking shadowless vulture, but now he could even chase up and kill them. This guy was probably the first to do this. EMO didn't feel he was very powerful to be able to kill the shadowless vulture. Shadowless vultures only had speed and expertise in stealth, but that was it. Why were the cultivators here so afraid of them? He really didn't understand. In the immortal realm, many cultivators began to use spirit sense attacks. Did the other cultivators not know shadowless vultures were scared of spirit sense cultivation method? Little did he know that there weren't many spirit sense cultivation methods in the immortal realm either. Most immortals could use their spirit sense to attack, as after reaching a certain level of cultivation, their spirit sense was powerful enough to be freely controlled to that extent. However, they wouldn't use it as a main method of attack. It was a method that higher-powered cultivators used to dominate low-level cultivators. Emo knew the importance of spirit sense cultivation method, so he never stopped perfecting his spirit sense cultivation method. Almost all his magic artifacts were related to spirit sense, and his spirit sense's power directly affected his power. Emo would always pursue anything that could improve his spirit sense. Even though he was a golden immortal primary stage now, his spirit sense was no weaker than that of abstruse immortal primary stage cultivators. I'm Wang Yi. I come from Yuan Heaven. This abstruse immortal primary stage immediately wanted to connect with Emo. He planned to do so when Emo first killed Shadowless Vulture. But Emo left too quickly and he didn't get the chance. That cultivator with Wang Yi heard this and looked at him with even more confusion. He thought Wang Yi knew Emo before, but now it seemed he didn't. I'm Emo, a solo cultivator. Emo replied and then asked, why did you three have conflict? Wang Yi quickly said, there are 4 6-winged purple radishes in the pond. 6-winged purple radishes? Emo thought and scanned his spirit sense. He immediately saw them growing under a strange rock. These were good things. 6-winged purple radishes were level 5 immortal spirit herbs and had 6 leaves that were like wings. They could be used to concoct the snow wing pill, a pill for curing pill poison. It was a true treasure for all cultivators in the immortal realm. Even Emo was touched. He had a few pill poison remedy pills also, including the stalagmite benefit pill. But the pitiful thing was, ever since he reached the immortal realm, the use of the stalagmite benefit pill dropped greatly. It was a bit useful when he was a hollow immortal, but when he reached golden immortal, it was negligible. He was an immortal pill great master. How could he not be interested? Yes, I saw them first and I was planning to split 2 each with my friend. But this woman saw them and wanted to take 2. Of course we wouldn't agree. Wang Yi respected Emo greatly and said it all. Martial sister Bingyu, since brother Wang found them first, I think maybe you shouldn't take them. Emo immediately said while thinking about how to trade them from Wang Yi. Jin Bingyu sneered. They found them? Did you see them? If I say I found them first, would you believe it? In reality, I found them first. I saw them and immediately came over. They were close and arrived here about the same time. She found them first, but she was further away, and so they got here at the same time. She only wanted 2, but they didn't want to give a single one to her. How could Emo give up on such a thing? Emo coughed. Martial sister Bingyu, brother Wang, and this friend. Since there are 4 here and you guys can't really divide them, I think everyone who sees them gets a share. So how about 1 each? Hearing this, everyone looked dazedly at Emo. 1 each? This meant that he was asking 1 for himself? They had never seen someone so shameless. Zhen Bingyu thought, even if someone wanted this, only this Yi dude would be able to say something this shameless. More strangely, this guy was only golden immortal primary stage. If it was some other abstruse immortal, he would have slapped already. Wang Yi was dazed but quickly reacted. Clearly, to dare to bring up such proposal meant Emo didn't fear anyone. Even if they divided 4 amongst 3, they would get at most 1 and a little bit more, so he might as well give 1 to Emo. However, he heard his friend sneer. Before his friend could say anything, Wang Yi quickly said, I agree. Brother Wang Yu? The other abstruse immortal primary stage stared at Wang Yi in shock and confusion. You actually agreed to give 1 6-winged purple radish to a golden immortal primary stage? Wang Yi was very contemptuous on the inside. Although this partner came from the same heaven domain as him, he wouldn't care what he thought. If he had conflict with Emo, he wouldn't intervene. He could use this to see Emo's true power. I'm good friends with Brother Yi, plus Brother Ye's method is good, Wang Yi said. I disagree, that abstruse immortal said without hesitation. Emo ignored him and looked at Zhen Bingyu asking, Martial sister Bingyu, what do you think? Zhen Bingyu calmed down. She wouldn't agree from the bottom of her heart, but thinking Emo became friends with this Wang Yi and was Nianmei's Dao partner, she didn't need to offend Emo. She fell silent for a moment and said, in that case, I'll just have 1. Emo looked at the cultivator. It's 3 against 1, you still disagree? Keep dreaming, the abstruse immortal said coldly and looked at Wang Yi. Brother Wang, I'm going to teach this golden immortal primary stage a lesson. Are you okay with that? Wang Yi's face looked bad. You're both my friends, of course I won't help anyone. But everyone is friends. Please stay harmonious. Everyone knew what Wang Yi truly intended, but Yemo didn't care. He wasn't afraid of this abstruse immortal primary stage. Okay. This abstruse immortal primary stage Long had enough of this cocky golden immortal primary stage and released his magic artifact. Seeing both Wang Yi and Zhen Bingyu retreat, he settled his heart. He was afraid that woman would help Yemo. Now that she didn't, he planned to kill this cocky golden immortal primary stage as soon as possible. Zhen Bingyu didn't intend to help Yemo indeed. She had helped him many times already. Plus, even though she barely agreed to Yemo taking her purple radish, she still felt uncomfortable. It was Yemo's first time seeing such a magic artifact. A fist. As soon as the abstruse immortal released this fist magic artifact, the space nearby seemed to be gathered around, making Yemo unable to move in the middle. Yemo smiled. For months ago, he would immediately release his octagonal cauldron and then hack out with Zisu, but now he didn't care. That fist wind area seemed like the Star Realm wind whirlpool. Yemo had been in there for a few months, so how could he care about this? The instant the fist space whirlpool formed, it made a loud thud. Countless immortal essence emanated from that huge fist magic artifact, forming countless immortal essence wind flows. They gradually formed into thousands of fist shadows, completely looming over Yemo. The distant pond water was stirred up by the explosive immortal essence power. Zhen Bingyu and Wang Yi realized that this man wanted to kill Yemo with one move. Zhen Bingyu's face changed. He didn't even use this move when fighting with her. There was no way Yemo could move now that he was caught in this. He could only watch as he got killed. Just when Zhen Bingyu wondered whether she should go help, she saw a purple ray hack out from the fist shadows, but it didn't seem to stop this endless fist barrage. The fist shadows still all hit Yemo. Wang Yi was dazed. He thought Yemo had something to be able to hunt shadowless vultures and kill all those wolves. Even if he couldn't beat an abstruse immortal cultivator, he shouldn't be killed in one move. With that many fist shadows, even if it hit an abstruse immortal, it was certain death, much less for Yemo. How could Yemo not know that this abstruse immortal wanted to kill him? Seeing this, he was going to show no mercy. He would take this and retaliate. This could indeed kill an ordinary abstruse immortal, but he was no ordinary abstruse immortal. He had reached God state peak stage. This level of attack might heavily injure him, but if he wanted to end the battle fast, he would trade injury with life. Yemo used his God state body refinement to the extreme and hacked out with Zisu, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain. He also wanted to kill this abstruse immortal with one move. The abstruse immortal saw that Yemo could still counterattack under his barrage and was worried. He used even more immortal essence. But soon he felt something was wrong. His countless fist shadows seemed to have struck a very sturdy magic artifact. There were just thudding noises, not the shower of flesh and blood he had expected. Not good, a purple figure hacked down. He felt a powerful binding. The abstruse immortal was shook. This was the first time he saw a golden immortal primary stage use a sword domain. In his shock, he couldn't care about killing Yemo. He used the immortal essence in his body like crazy, trying to shift his body away. Splurge, blood flashed, and this abstruse immortal primary stage's armor and half a shoulder were hacked down. Yemo almost spat blood. He knew that the fist barrage had injured him. He sighed. An abstruse immortal was so much more powerful than a golden immortal. If it was a golden immortal peak stage, this strike would be enough to kill him, but he only took an arm. He could kill the void wolf pack that countless abstruse immortals couldn't kill, but that didn't mean he was stronger than abstruse immortals. That abstruse immortal stared at Yemo in shock. He didn't consider this golden immortal primary stage a threat, but that was his full-powered attack. Even an abstruse immortal wouldn't be able to ignore it, and yet this golden immortal primary stage dared to take it and took off his shoulder and arm. He finally realized why Wang Yi was so polite to this guy. If he knew this guy was this absurd, he wouldn't think of trying to kill him even if he didn't get an immortal spirit herb. He knew his fist shadows trapped Yemo and those terrifying attacks struck his body. Why was he fine? Unless God state body refinement, or even beyond it? The abstruse immortal thought of this, and there was terror in his eyes. If EMO was really God state body refinement or beyond, would he be able to run? Thinking about how he flew across the sky with his magic artifact, the abstruse immortal gave up trying to run. He looked pleadingly at Wang Yi and forgot to even take out a recovery pill. Wang Yi was still in shock. Emo's power was far beyond his control. Seeing his friend look over, he shook and saluted with his fists. Brother Yi, Wang Chun is my friend. Can you forgive him this time on my account? The cultivation realm and immortal realm were the same. In the wake of power, everything else didn't matter. There was no reason. Emo nodded. On Brother Wang's account, I'll let him go. Emo knew that although Wang Chun lost an arm, if they really fought again, he would still be injured. It was best to end it here, plus it wasn't good to be heavily injured in here. Wang Yi was a good person, so he might as well give it to him. Plus, he didn't have to kill Wang Chun. If it was him, he wouldn't agree too. Thank you, Brother Yi. Wang Yi didn't expect Emo to agree and immediately thanked Emo happily. He picked up the broken arm and gave it to Wang Chun. He felt happy, at least now when he was with Wang Chun he would have more power. Wang Chun quickly ate a few pills and connected the arm back. Zhen Bingyu looked dazedly at Emo. Now she didn't doubt at all that Emo killed all the wolves himself. Emo was clearly a god state body refinement or beyond to be able to take on that fist magic artifact. Body refinement cultivators were extremely rare and those with accomplishments were rarer. If her master guessed right, then Emo was an immortal pill great master too. Regardless, easily defeating an abstruse immortal primary stage as golden immortal primary stage. This was unheard of. There were cases of golden immortals beating abstruse immortals, but the most absurd case was golden immortal middle stage. Wang Yi saluted with his fists. I'll go collect the immortal spirit herbs. I'll go do it, Emo quickly said. That's fine. Wang Yi nodded and didn't move. He didn't think that Emo didn't believe him. After all, who could go as fast as Emo in here? Emo probably wanted to see if there was anything else. Who wasn't smart here? Since level 5 immortal spirit herbs could grow here, who knew whether there was something special? Emo went first, probably wanting to take whatever supported the growth of the immortal spirit herbs. From his battle performance, neither Zhen Bingyu nor Wang Yi wanted to offend Emo thought so indeed. Brother Wang, thank you for just now. Wang Chun saluted with his fists. Wang Yi was satisfied on the inside but waved his hand calmly. No need, we're all friends. Wang Chun hesitated and sound transmissioned. Brother Wang, who is this Emo? He's golden immortal primary stage and yet he's this powerful? I'm certain he didn't hide his power. Wang Yi looked at Emo's back but didn't use sound transmission. He said, if you know why Brother Yi flew over so fast just then, you wouldn't want to fight him. Why? Wang Chun whispered this time. Zhen Bingyu heard this and also listened in. She really wanted to know what Emo was doing so cockily on the flying immortal artifact. Because he went to hunt shadowless vultures. That shadowless vulture probably ambushed him, so he chased up and killed it. Wang Yi looked at Wang Chun and replied, what? Wang Chun was dazed. There were people here hunting shadowless vultures? Just how cocky was he that he went to fight something like that? Zhen Bingyu was dazed too. She didn't expect Emo went to hunt shadowless vultures. Was that something that could be hunted? This was the first time she heard this. She felt there were more and more secrets about Emo. She even wanted to ask if Emo was Pill Master Great Master. If so, she really wanted to give her share to Emo for pill concoction. Knowing this, Wang Chun completely lost his attitude. He even gave up the thought of revenge. Emo was standing opposite the pond now, and the 4 6-winged radishes were squeezed in a small rink. There was a mark on the outside and a thin stream of water flowed over. Seeing this, Emo realized why they appeared here. This was a natural stealth formation and the rock was charged open by the water. After a long time, the rock fell into the lake and thus the 4 immortal spirit herbs could be found with spirit sense. Emo carefully dug one up and immediately felt the extremely dense immortal spirit chi below it. Emo felt it with his hands and a cool liquid flew around his finger. Emo was shook. This was a low-grade hidden ice immortal well. There were many types of immortal wells: low-grade, middle-grade, top-grade, and extreme-grade. There were also elemental immortal wells. Other than the 5 elements and wind, lightning, and ice, there were also hidden immortal wells. The reason hidden immortal wells were good and favored was because their purity was high and easily to digest. A low-grade hidden ice immortal well was even better than an ordinary top-grade immortal well. It also had a special feature, and that was that it couldn't be moved away and one must stay here to cultivate. If it was moved, it would become an ordinary immortal well. Emo calmed his excitement and took the 4 immortal spirit herbs before throwing a stealth formation disc here. Moments later, Emo came back out. Zhen Bingyu and Wang Yi looked over immediately. Emo took out 2 radishes and gave one to Wang Yi and one to Zhen Bingyu. Wang Yi gave one to Wang Chun and then saluted with his fists. "Thank you, Brother Yi. If you don't have any plans, how about we go deeper together?" He admired Yemo's power, and it would be good if they could go together. Zhen Bingyu didn't leave and waited on the side. Yemo smiled and saluted with his fists. "Brother Wang, I can't go with you. I found a low-grade immortal well down there, so I want to cultivate here for a while." Yemo knew he couldn't hide it from them, so he admitted it. He didn't say it was a hidden immortal well or there might be a battle. Now that Yemo said this, they understood. It was good, but they wouldn't fight over it with Yemo for it. Seeing Zhen Bingyu waiting on the side, he saluted with his fists. "In that case, I'll be going first. Perhaps we'll meet again somewhere in here." Then the 2 left. "Martial Sister Bingyu, thank you for your reminder and saving my life once." Yemo thanked. "No need," Zhen Bingyu said, but she didn't leave. Yemo felt strange. Where was that Hai Chuanwu? Why wasn't he by her side? "If you have nothing else I'm going to cultivate, I just found a low-grade immortal well," Yemo repeated, but she didn't leave. How was he to cultivate? After she left, he would set up a stealth, defense, and even an attack formation. Zhen Bingyu could tell Yemo was implying for her to leave, so she could only say, "Pill Master Yi, you said you were a level 4 immortal pill great master at the sect." Yemo heard this and immediately realized what she wanted. If it was before, he would agree without hesitation because she saved her. But ever since seeing the Freedom King, Yemo's attitude changed. He felt that the reason he hadn't been caught was because his power was too low and he came into contact with low-level cultivators. If he suddenly became an immortal pill great master, many great immortals would come to him. If that was the case, he wouldn't be able to keep his secret. He even regretted helping Feng Chuanma. Yemo rejected without hesitation. "Martial Sister Bingyu, you should know that I said that intentionally. Gongsun Jiu is a love rival, of course I'm going to ridicule him. If I was really a level 4 immortal pill great master, I would tell Nianmei's father straight up. Would I need to compete?" Zhen Bingyu thought and agreed. If Yemo was truly a level 4 immortal pill great master, he wouldn't even need to compete. If the sect leader knew the son-in-law was level 4 immortal pill great master, he wouldn't even be able to stop laughing. How could he not agree? Zhen Bingyu sighed in disappointment. Gongsun Yin was a level 5 immortal pill great master. Even if he tried to concoct the snow wing pill, he might fail. She only had one. In that case, goodbye. Zhen Bingyu saluted with her fists and was about to leave. Yemo felt ashamed rejecting someone who saved him, but he wouldn't promise to help because of this. This concerned his life. After walking about 10 meters, Zhen Bingyu suddenly turned back and asked, "Are you a body refinement immortal?" Yemo didn't hide this. Everyone could tell after that battle. "That's right, I'm a body refinement cultivator. I haven't reached body refinement immortal yet," Yemo answered. "Only after Nirvana was one considered a body refinement immortal." "Then where did you get your body refinement cultivation method?" Zhen Bingyu's eyes lit up. He thought she would ask what state he was, but instead she asked this. Yemo answered, "In a rare opportunity, one got a jade slip and there was a body refinement cultivation method there." Zhen Bingyu said without hesitation, "Then can you copy one for me? Name your price. If I don't have enough immortal crystals, you can give me a part and I'll give you more when I get back to the sect." Yemo looked at Zhen Bingyu in confusion. Such a beautiful female cultivator wanted body refinement? Yemo had been through body refinement. How could he not know that body refinement required one to be naked and facing life and death in terrifying conditions? If Jin Bingyu cultivated body refinement, would she be like this? Emo suddenly felt he was too shameless. He subconsciously patted his head. Seeing Emo not talk and just slap his head, Jin Bingyu frowned and asked again, "If it's not okay, then never mind. Of course I can, but you saved me, so I don't need immortal crystals. My body refinement cultivation method only reaches immortal spirit body primary stage," Emo said. There was extreme surprise and joy in Jin Bingyu's eyes. She didn't expect Emo had an immortal spirit body refinement cultivation method. Body refinement cultivation methods weren't abundant even in the immortal realm. "I want it," Jin Bingyu said without hesitation. Clearly Yemo's body refinement cultivation method was not ordinary. Cultivating to immortal spirit body primary stage was enough for Jin Bingyu. How many in the immortal realm could reach immortal spirit body? Emo nodded and took out a blank jade slip, writing down all his body refinement cultivation method. As for the body refinement cultivation method after immortal spirit body, it wasn't that Emo couldn't calculate it, but he wanted to do it after he reached immortal spirit body. That way, the cultivation method would be more perfect. "Pill Master Yi, thank you. How many immortal crystals for this cultivation method?" Jin Bingyu just scanned it casually and rejoiced. She came from a big sect. She knew Yemo's body refinement cultivation method wasn't ordinary. Emo waved his hand. "I've said that this body refinement cultivation method is for saving my life. Don't worry about the immortal crystals. I will take it the next time we have a deal." Jin Bingyu carefully put the jade slip away and bowed to Emo. "Martial brother Yi, thank you." This was the first time she called Emo martial brother. Clearly she was very grateful to Emo for giving her the cultivation method. Seeing that Emo had no intention to speak, she said, "Martial brother Yi, Nianmei and Chuanma are both kind-hearted girls. Dao partner dual cultivation is the cultivation of life. One is enough, more would only be harmful." Emo patted his head speechlessly. "You've said it once already, I know." Seeing that Emo was annoyed, Jin Bingyu sighed. "Martial brother Yi, you're not old, but your power is absurd, and you're an immortal pill master and a body refinement cultivator. From this it can be seen that your future is limitless. Other than competing, cultivation is also about self-discipline. Lust is just temporary satisfaction. If you hinder your great Tao due to this, you will regret greatly when you wake up." Emo stared dazedly at this extremely beautiful cold woman. He didn't expect her to be so straightforward. This would be embarrassing for most female cultivators, but she said it so naturally. "Did your master teach you?" Emo suddenly asked after being dazed for a while. "Yes. Because you don't have a master, I am saying this to you," Jin Bingyu said with her never-changing cold face. Emo waved his hand. "Thank you." He no longer had the will to talk. This woman only had good looks, but other than that she was cold inside and outside. One could imagine her master must be like her too. This time, she said no more and saluted with her fists before quickly leaving. Soon, she disappeared. Seeing her leave, Emo finally breathed easy. He immediately came back to the well and started setting up formations. First was a stealth formation, second was a defense formation, third was a spirit sense barrier formation and an attack formation. There probably wouldn't be any great immortals here. Even if there were, they wouldn't so coincidentally see this pond. 3 days later, Emo finished with the formations and set up another touch activation restriction before taking out the time formation disk. Emo set up the time formation disk and sat on the hidden ice immortal well to start cultivation. Emo devoured the dense immortal spirit chi. That extremely pure immortal spirit chi rapidly washed Emo's meridians, purifying his immortal essence and condensing his essence spirit. Now, Emo truly felt the power of 3 birth chant. It could digest any element immortal spirit chi to increase his power, from the pure lightning source to the hidden ice immortal well. At the same time, a blue figure passed the rock forest rapidly. This stone forest was the famous Wind Blade Stone Forest in the Chaos Star realm. It was one of the best body refinement places here. The wind blades were weaker at the border, but the deeper you went it would be filled with more space wind blades and even space blade tornadoes. This blue figure was Zhen Bingyu. There weren't many great eternity immortal sects with a body refinement cultivation method until immortal spirit body. Even some status immortal sects wouldn't have such things, and yet Emo just threw one to her. Most body refinement cultivation methods were hard to start, and many cultivators couldn't make the first step in their entire lifetime. So before body refinement, Zhen Bingyu was prepared for failure. Zhen Bingyu chose a place with space wind blades that weren't very powerful and let the space wind blades hit her body. She didn't stop them and instead used the cultivation method for the first state, bone state. Immediately, she was shook. She ran her immortal essence along the routes and there wasn't any blockage. In less than 2 minutes, she reached bone state. This body refinement cultivation method is fake. Zhen Bingyu frowned, but thinking of Emo, it didn't seem like he gave her a fake. She didn't stop cultivation and continued to practice the cultivation method. 15 minutes later, she found in shock that she was bone state peak stage. How was this possible? Zhen Bingyu was almost about to curse. Reaching bone state peak stage in 15 minutes? Even the best cultivation method and best talent wouldn't be able to do this. Zhen Bingyu looked at her torn clothes. In a moment she only had a very thin layer of armor. But she wasn't embarrassed at all. She let herself stand naked in the wind blades. That curvaceous body would make anyone admire it. But the blood gashes brought upon by such silky smooth body just seemed more shocking. However, Zhen Bingyu was frowning and thinking why Emo gave her a fake body refinement cultivation method. She shook her head and was about to leave, but she found that her body formed a light golden wave as she used the body refinement cultivation method. The injuries instantly recovered. She knew that there would be a golden ripple when one reached bone state peak stage. This situation clearly told her that she reached bone state peak stage. It's real. Zhen Bingyu looked at the golden ripple and was completely dumbfounded. The golden ripple couldn't completely stop the space wind blades, but it could stop them from cutting open her skin. Zhen Bingyu couldn't control her excitement anymore. She shakily took out the jade slip Emo gave her. No wonder Yemo's cultivation was so rapid. His body refinement cultivation method was definitely a treasure of this world. Since he could get this, it meant that he got other things such as his pill concoction skills. Reaching bone state peak stage in 15 minutes, if this cultivation method was spilled, the entire immortal realm would go crazy. Zhen Bingyu subconsciously shivered and quickly destroyed the jade slip after memorizing it. She had decided to tell Emo that he must not spill this body refinement cultivation method or he would die. Then, Zhen Bingyu decided to focus completely on body refinement. 6 days later, Zhen Bingyu successfully reached 4th state, and she realized that the reason she cultivated so fast was not only due to Yemo's body refinement cultivation method, but also because of her abstruse immortal power. After all, her abstruse immortal power meant that her body was far stronger than the 3 master states of body refinement. But even so, she knew this body refinement cultivation method was definitely a treasure. 2 months later, she successfully reached hollow state of the 3 king states. Half a year later, Zhen Bingyu reached king state peak stage before her cultivation speed slowed down. She knew that it was impossible to reach God state here. She just walked out of the stone forest naked and cleansed her body before putting on clothes.